The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than in a dorm. For the young phenom known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing. Better with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Leche.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, August 7th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have a game popping off. So we're starting off a little earlier than usual. We have a game popping off in 18 minutes. And our colleagues have moved on it. I have not moved on it. So let's discuss the spot, set this one up, and then we'll do our what's up to all of the great cappers in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's roll. So what do we know about this baseball game just to get started from our colleagues? Is that our very own Morgan Spooner has moved on the Athletics. And he's not alone. Our very own TJ has moved on the A's team total over 4.5. Went 4-4 yesterday. 2 of my losses came with the Athletics. Obviously, looking back at the situation, I should never expect offense from a team that explodes for 16 runs the day before. That was clearly a mistake, which I'm not pleased with. Very costly mistake for me yesterday. Should have had a winning day. Gorky is on the Athletics and the Mariners. Also on Maboko. Maboko plus 130. It was a big cash for my brother yesterday on Maboko. It was a lot of fun. We got Beer Nuts, Justin McKelvey, also with Rooker RBI. So there we go. More action coming in from our guys. So let's get this one up and at 'em and attack. We have Rooker for an RBI as the stacks play today to get our show started. Stacks. We have JT on the over 9 as well. My dude says, can't wait for football. We'll get into NFL and CFL right after this. There's a bunch of cappers I want to give shout outs to. And I will. Spreadsheet play of the day is the Oakland Athletics. So we have a lot of love for these Oakland Athletics. Nuke Worker, I believe you have Edmonton plus 4.5, right? Unless you're doing the alt line, please let me know. AM is on the under 9. Says projected at 10.1. Says you know the drill. We are attacking. Yes, Kong. I speak to JPZ all the time. In fact, we were talking yesterday. I don't talk to him enough. I shouldn't say all the time. I'd like to talk to him more. He's money in the bank. He is not capping sports right now. Will and is planning to be a Pubapalooza 5. We'll get him back in business. Taking a little breather. He's taking a little breather. All right, so T-Moss, A's money line. All of this A's action. Let's take a look at the line history. I've not moved on this game and set this one up. First pitch is in 15 minutes, 15 short minutes. Let's set this one up. And we have a huge show today, which we will get into. Bobano will be joining us shortly. Kong says, had him on my mind. Yeah, his quality gets, man. He's money in the bank. The Athletics, 50-66, 27-32 on the road to the Washington Nationals, 45-68, 22-35 at home. We were talking quite a bit about this game, myself and Morgan Spooner yesterday, and I will get into all of that. Let's start with the weather as we discuss this game popping off in 14 minutes. 80 Fahrenheit feels like 82 Fahrenheit. 8 miles per hour right to left and slightly in. Gets up to 8.9 miles per hour. when we get to the daily stadium report from Ballpark. Pal, they have Nationals Park plus 7%, plus 4% homers, plus 6% doubles and triples, and plus 4% singles. Our guy Spooner moved on the Athletics minus 124 last night. He says, I think Lopez matches up really well versus lefty heavy lineup. Mitchell Parker throwing. I think the Athletics give him a hard time. Regardless of the end of this game, at the end of this game, the A's should have all of their arms available. The Nationals have to fly to the West Coast tomorrow, and the A's just have to travel to Baltimore. So the expectation was this line would close between minus 135 and minus 145. Now, I will give a rebuttal with my concerns, but let's see if he was right on this line move here. So let's move over to today's action for MLB and discuss this line move. We are, again, 13 minutes from first pitch. I keep saying that just myself because I've not moved on this as of yet. And he's absolutely right. We are sitting here looking at the Oakland A's at minus 143. The interesting part of this move was this heavy move towards the Oakland Athletics. As we see very often, didn't happen until 9 this morning. Public woke up. Public starts hammering the Athletics. It wasn't from last night's action. It was from action this morning. Sir Mackey, Athletics minus a half, first 5. Ron Crawford says the Athletics 8-1 as a road favorite. There's Markel. Justin McKelvey on Lopez over 5.5 strikeouts. Noah liking A's team total over, but it's juiced. T-Moss on the A's money line as well. So before we get into the statistics, my rebuttal was how Mitchell Parker, who we've talked about a lot. We've talked about his flop sweats when he starts falling apart. It's not very hot in Washington today, so we don't think he'll sweat too much. Stephen Hairston is our first guy taking a shot with the Nats money line and Rooker over 3 total bases. Wine time is on the over 8.5. So is Stephen Hairston. My rebuttal was this. My only concern is Parker just got lit up in his last start. Now, we will discuss this a little further. He now has a second straight home start to make amends. Now, I could get over that. I could move on the Athletics. He's been terrible this year, Mitchell Parker. He's gotten worse every month this year. He's had a very similar season trajectory to Jonathan Cannon, who we faded yesterday with the Mariners on the minus 1.5 line. Sir Mac, you got to be feeling good with Bengals minus 3 in his pocket. Occupancy says I'm going to ride with the public on this one and jump in on Oakland too. So a lot of backers on Oakland. Let's take a look at the board here and see just how much cash is on them. Not as much as you'd think. 61% of the tickets, so 39% of the tickets are on the Nationals. 61% of the tickets are on Oakland and 51% of the cash, which means 31%. What the hell's wrong? 39% of the tickets are on the Nationals and 49% of the cash. Now we see the public moving this pretty hard. Ricky Bobby says, when was the last time Nationals faced a left-handed pitcher in back-to-back games? Going to try and see how they did. T-Moss also on the A's team total over 4.5. There's Mark A in the house as well with Irish King. Jacob Lopez, last start was a thing of beauty at home versus Arizona. 5 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks and 2 walks. On the road, he's pitched in 9 games. He started 7, 32 2/3. In those 32 2/3, he has allowed 18 earned runs and he's walked 15 batters. So it's not very good. It's not very good. The issue here is that the Nats are not hitting lefties at all. 187 with a 548 OPS the last 30 days. They're not hitting them. The Athletics are smashing them. 296 with an 873 OPS. But do you expect offense at 12:05 p.m. Eastern? As the discussion continued here with Spooner, he said, it's also concerning to me that's going to be a very public play. Now, it's not as public as we thought. And the Athletics body clock will be at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. So you have to ask yourself, well, how long have the Athletics been out east? Right? Have they been out east for a long time? Is this really going to feel like a 9:05 start to them? And the answer is yes. It will feel like a 9:05 start to them. They flew out here on the 4th. They flew out here on Monday. With all of this being said, I do not want to back the Athletics. I'm not going to go up against you guys. I'm not going to take the Nats. That was a great call, DC Capper, on the Brewers. Very few people on the Brewers yesterday. DC, I was on the Braves 5-1.5. You were on them. TJ was on them. Great job. T. Moss says, how's the weather there? We did go over the weather, and it's 80. Feels like 82. Mostly clear. It's a nice day over there. BJ, let's get to work, my friend. Coin says, has this number got too high? I think that for you guys on the A's, you should feel good that the line has moved over the last hour and a half. And maybe, and this is a very valid explanation for my stagnant decision making, and it's that I lost with the A's yesterday. That could very easily be a part of this. Mitchell Parker, 7-11, 5.35 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. He looked horrific in his last start, but it was here at home. I also checked the weather. I went back, weather history, because we know this guy is going to be 300 pounds 5 years after he finishes pitching. 4 innings, 12 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 1 walk. It wasn't warm. It was funny. It had been super hot, and then it cooled down on that start. Free bands play today is the A's first 5 at -150. At home, Mitchell Parker has not looked very good. There's no getting around it. He's gotten worse every month. If we take a deeper dive into Mitchell Parker, because I get it. I completely get it. I may have interest in moving live on this. But again, it's one of those tricky live spots because if it does feel like 9:05 in the morning for the A's, if they are a little tired and it's a low scoring early start, I'm not going to want to move live on the over. Was Mitchell Parker looking stronger? His first start after the All-Star break, he had 8 days off. It was a nice one. Quality start. At home against the Padres, went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs. Then he went to Minnesota, and it wasn't a bad start. 5 2/3, again, allowed 2 earned runs, and then he gets lit up in the last one. Big Daddy Boom in the house. Coin saying the line is moving back to the Nats. Nasty Nate says, is my BC Lions jersey a WNBA jersey? I know you're trying to get in my head, Nasty Nate. Not going to happen. Pacheco de Gallo in the house. Fernando Mendoza on the under 9.5. So with all this said and done, look, I'm being very average in baseball for since the All-Star break. Every day is just average. And yes, it's annoying me. 4-4 yesterday, down 0.04 units. But I will not be joining you guys. I will not be joining you guys on the A's. I will be cheering for you. All right, let's get to some copying and pasting, and we have our guy, Ian. Oh, perfect. Ian Cameron. I didn't realize he's already backstage. He's early. Maybe he has a move on this fair baseball game right now. Without further ado, our guy, can't wait to talk NFL with him. We'll get right into NFL next. He's 1-0 to start the year here. I'm Benny with the bag as I'm 0-1. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Ian Cameron, to the show. Bobano, how are you?
Good to be with you, Jimmy. Good to see you, and good to see everyone in the chat, and looking forward to breaking it down as always.
Got my KC Printers jersey on as our teams battle in Hamilton tonight. Bobano, we have a game starting off in 5 minutes. Almost everybody in the chat, except, and it's almost everybody. Almost everybody here is on the Athletics. Now Stephen Hairston is not. Stephen Hairston has moved on the Nationals, also on the over. Take it away, my friend. You have action in this game with first pitch coming in 4 minutes.
I actually do. I have the A's team total over 4.5 in this game. Bounce back spot for the A's after a 2-1 loss last night. An A's team that really had been hitting very well prior to that game last night. They scored 16 in the first game of this series, and they had scored 4 runs or more let me just count it up here. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 7 going into last night. They got shut down, but I think it's a good opportunity for them to bounce back against Mitchell Parker, who obviously had a rough start his last time out. And the way I like the team total is Jacob Lopez is the difficult pitcher to handicap in this matchup. He's been lights out. He's given up not a single run in his last 9.1 innings, but something tells me that's not going to last indefinitely. Credit to him, he's pitching well, but I do think he'll probably have some regression. Is it going to be today? Who knows? And Washington's pitching has just been, it's not just Parker. This is the bullpen, too, that I'm kind of going against here with this A's team total. This is a Washington team that prior to last night, they got a good outing for the most part from, their pitching staff. But before that, they gave up 16, 14, 8, 16, 9, 7. So every opponent was clear in their team total before last night. I think it's a good matchup, good spot for the A's bats to awaken. Whether Washington contributes offensively, because I was thinking of the full game over, but I'm worried about what we're going to get or maybe not get from Washington at the plate offensively. So I just preferred to isolate the team total for the A's. So A's team total over 4.5 minus 115.
A's team total over 4.5 minus 115. The A's flew out here on Monday. Did the early time slot concern you at all?
That is definitely a concern. Boy, oh boy, I think it's a good matchup for them. I think they match up well with Parker, and that's bullpen's been absolutely atrocious. And they had gone 6 or 7 games in a row, giving up 6 runs, I believe, minimum to their opponents. So it's been obviously a rough go for the Nationals, not only their starters, but their bullpen from a pitching standpoint. So I still like it enough to take the shot here that the A's can get me 5 runs.
Well, we have more team total action. You are alongside TJ and other cappers here in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We started off a little earlier so that we could attack this game. We have Nicholas Handy on the A's and the under 9 same game parlay. The spreadsheet play of the day from our Ron Crawford was also on the Athletics. Brent Rooker prop was the stacks play of the day for our very own Justin McKelvey. AM on the under 9 here. Rooker RBI, was not the over 1 I pay. Rookie RBI at plus 112. Wine time on the over 8.5 at minus 120. Copying and pasting all of this action. Bobano, my friend, it is time to move on to the NFL. The NFL, and I can't wait to cap all of this with you. I'm just going to copy and paste a couple more things, and we've got to get to work because there are 7 football games that we are going to attempt to cap here. Maybe we can get to best bets. I hope we can, but it is football that is the most important spot here. I did not move on the Cy Young future, my dude. The only futures I have, as you guys know, 4 future bets, and they're all on the Brewers. 2 from the beginning of the year and 2 from not long ago. I'm surprised. I was going over my action, always going over everything. It was just July 10th that I made those 2 bets on the Brewers. I thought it was a little longer ago. Just July 10th, and that was 35-1 for the World Series and 17-1 for the NL. That is it. Yes, we are going through NFL right now. Slatsy 45 in the house. Let's roll Bobano, and we have it set up here. 1-0 to start the year. I am 0-1 to start the season. 7 p.m. Eastern with the Indianapolis Colts at the Baltimore Ravens. M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. 80 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour. Year 3 of Steichen. He is 4-2 as a head coach in the preseason. Harbaugh, 45-16. And we know the legendary numbers of Harbaugh, but 2-4 the last 2 years. Let's get into the line history here for this one and the cash flow as well. And there we go. Let's roll. We have had a monstrous move to the Colts. Steichen announced that it will be Richardson, who clearly has phenomenal talent And as a Colt, if you are a Colts fan, you probably have to smash your head into the wall watching him because he doesn't make the simple, easy plays, but he sure can make these spectacular ones. Not enough of them. 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions last season. Steichen announced that Richardson will start this week, play halfway through the second before Daniel Jones finishes out the half. At that point, do we expect Riley Leonard to finish the second half alongside Jason Bean? I imagine
they will, because you're not going to see Daniel Jones at all. Daniel Jones will play next week, according to Steichen. So you won't see him at all tonight.
Oh, interesting. Because from the quote that I had, Daniel Jones was just going to finish off the last couple drives or drive of the second quarter. Is that not happening anymore?
Let me just double check that. I know he's starting next week.
He is starting next week, but I have, because what I had learned.
You're right. Jones is finishing the first half. Correct. Okay. There we go. Yeah.
So,
but it will be Bean and Leonard split in the second half.
And Leonard split in the second half. So with that announcement, this line moved very heavily, as you would imagine, towards the Colts. Now, this line that came out Monday at 4:33 p.m. was the Colts minus 4.5. If we want to move to a book that came out earlier than that, and we can, 6 days ago, this came out with the Colts minus 1. The interesting part of all that was within 2 hours and 45 minutes. I mean, you're going up against the Ravens. This line moved towards the Ravens. The Ravens were favorites in this game for a while. Now, that didn't last very long. The initial announcement came on Sunday from Steichen, what his plan was with his quarterbacks. There was a 3.5-point move at that point. That was Sunday at 4:52 p.m. So we've had a monstrous move towards the Colts. From a total standpoint here, we have a 36. We have a 36.5. I'm looking at a 36 flat, but it's minus 117 to the over, which means 8 cents of movement came to this very over. Slatsy in the chat talking about looking forward to hang out with us at Woodbine. Our guy Bobano going to be making an appearance there as well. Yep. I cannot wait. But we got to stay focused here on football, even though I am extremely excited about the meetup with the squad here. So we're not going to see Jonathan Taylor. I mean, we're going to see Khalil Herbert probably a little bit. We're hoping to see DJ Giddens, their 5th-round pick. Hoping. Tyler Goodson is last on the running back depth chart. I imagine that we see him in this. We have defensive coordinator and Lou Anarumo coming over. And, let's start with Cooper Rush. Devin Leary is expected to play most of this football game. On how much do you expect Cooper Rush to play?
Not a whole lot, because he is the clear backup right now to Lamar. And obviously, you're not going to see Lamar at all here in the preseason. No. We didn't see him at all in the preseason last year. I don't expect we're going to see him much. And I think we're going to see probably a quarter of Rush, maybe a little into the second quarter. Maybe he'll get the whole first half. I'm a little skeptical on that. I think it's more so first quarter into the second, possibly for Rush. And then it's going to be a whole lot of Devin Leary after that. And for anyone that knows Devin Leary well, as I do, for those of you that follow college football, and I'm sure many of you do, it's not a guy I'm excited about backing for an entire second half. Let's put it that way.
What is your expectation of Richardson here? Do you think I don't know what his mindset is. I was trying to figure that out. What is your expectation of him off the start?
Well, he's got to show that he can get the ball out quickly. He's got to show he can make good decisions, that he can read the defense. Keep in mind, the Ravens are not really playing many starters. This should be an opportunity for Anthony Richardson to not only get his feet wet, but thrive. He should play solid. He should be able to at least move the football team and put points on the board. He should be able to do that here tonight. Will he be able to do that? I've never been a big Anthony Richardson fan. I'll just come out and say it. I don't like his mentality. I don't like the fact that he wouldn't come into one of those games saying he needed a blow, he needed a rest. That was peculiar
That was
in
shocking.
that one game, and I know that didn't go over well with the coaching staff and his teammates. I've seen way too much erratic play. I've seen just stupidity at times from Richardson, like when he threw the ball in his own end zone and it was picked. Just really, really bad decisions from Anthony Richardson. So I get it, and I actually could see this coming, that Baltimore was not putting much emphasis in this game, and Steichen was going to run Richardson out there for a good chunk. And I got the Colts early in the week below a -3. I think it was -2.5 or so. But I want no part of them now at -6, 6.5. I think if you're going to bet the Colts now, you got to look at the first half. You have to cut that wager down to the first half only. I don't want anything to do with their backup quarterback situation either. You're talking about Riley Leonard and you're talking about Jason Bean. Not exactly quarterbacks I'm rushing to endorse here in the second half. And remember, in these preseason games, Jimmy, it's vital for people to realize this. You've got to understand who's going to be playing in the second half. That's when these point spreads are decided. It's not in the first half when some of the starters or your number one QBs are out there. It's in the second half. That's where these point spreads, that's where the money is going to be won or lost in these preseason games. So you've got to be aware who's going to be out there in the third quarter and specifically in the fourth quarter. And I can't say I'm in love with a Riley Leonard, Jason Bean combo. That being said, you could say the same thing about Baltimore with Devin Leary. So if you ask me now, put it this way, if Richardson struggles, and let's say he moves the team, but they don't finish drives, they bog down in the red zone, maybe they kick a couple field goals. Instead of 14 points, they only put up 6 points or whatever with Richardson out there, and then they make the switch to the next quarterback. I don't see how this game goes over, because I know there's a lot of the games have taken over money. Notice that here in week 1 of the preseason. Why? I think there's a reflection of last week, where, again, the total was so low in that Hall of Fame game, it flew over the total. And now and we've seen week 1 preseason games trend over the total in recent years because the totals are lower. They're in that mid-30s range in a lot of situations. But this is one over where I get, just from that standpoint, that base philosophy to bet overs here in week 1 of the preseason. But this one, I'd have a hard time getting on board with the over because I don't trust either of these quarterbacks, really on either side, Jimmy, outside of maybe Richardson and even him. Like I said, I've got some concerns. And by the way, John Harbaugh in Baltimore for years talked about, don't you dare bet against Baltimore in the preseason. John Harbaugh is the one coach that cares. John Harbaugh is the one coach that wants to win. That was then, this is now. The last 2 years, John Harbaugh, 2-4 straight up, 0-6 against the spread in the preseason. So not the same Baltimore Ravens that were automatic for bettors in August a couple of years ago.
So let me ask you this before we move on here. Would you be surprised if the best quarterback on the field in the first half was Cooper Rush?
He certainly, it's funny, Cooper Rush, people laugh at it. But Cooper Rush, I've seen him have some good games. I've seen him have some good moments with the Dallas Cowboys.
12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
And he's certainly got a boatload of experience.
And he is no
in
pressure.
The NFL.
No pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, no pressure. Could he actually outperform Richardson in the first? This is set up beautifully for Richardson. Shame on him if he struggles. He should not struggle. He should go out there and play well. But I'm not ready to put my money on it. It's that simple.
So would you say that if it's Richardson and DJ Giddens,
not at this number, I should say. I put my money on it at 2.5. I'm not doing that at 6.5.
But if you were saying that if it's Richardson and Giddens going up against Cooper Rush and Keaton Mitchell, you're confident because of the expectation that more backups will be playing defense for the Ravens, that the Richardson-Giddens combination will deliver more offense than the Cooper Rush Keaton Mitchell combination.
I would lean to yes with that, but not with a ton of conviction, but yes, I'll lean that way.
And is anything now at this line capable?
As you can tell, no bet for me at the current numbers. I kind of think I get the philosophy with overs I think this is a good week to bet overs in a lot of circumstances. I just don't know if I can ask a grouping of especially Devin Leary. We're going to see a lot of him in the second half, and I saw him at Kentucky and NC State. I was not thrilled with what I saw from him in college. You're going to see a lot of him in the second half, and you're going to see a rookie in Riley Leonard, who we know doesn't have, he's got mobility, but we know his arm strength and his accuracy is the question. And then after that, you're going to see Jason Bean, and Jason Bean, is coming in from spring football. I don't know how effective he'll be. I get the philosophy of overs in week 1 of the preseason, but this is not a game I'm on board with an over.
So we have Anthony Richardson in the chat moving on the first half. We have BJ wanting to move.
That's the way to bet it. If you would like the Colts first half. Yep.
The first half spread right now is sitting at 4.5 juice to the Colts. Opened up. It wasn't available to bet until 9:54 this morning. So I am curious to see where this ends up, honestly. It was moving towards the Colts until about 30 minutes ago when there was a 5 cents of buyback, but just 5 cents of buyback. When it initially moved, it opened up -4, -112. Within an hour and 40 minutes ago, it was -4 at -131. Then it gets to -4.5 at -120, and then we see 5 cents of buyback. So then just before we close on this, the live under would be bet as soon as, I guess, would have to be bet at halftime, because there could be concern that if Richardson doesn't look good, Daniel Jones might want to show his worth here in a drive or two. Would you say that the live under could only be bet after Daniel Jones leaves the game?
Oh yeah, that's I think when the game could really slow down as far as scoring is concerned, after halftime. Because Riley Leonard, Jason Bean, Devin Leary, that's essentially what you're going to have in the second half for both of these teams, at quarterback. And I can't say there's one quarterback that's like, oh yeah, I think they're really going to light it up against backup defenders and defenses. So the live under makes sense. That I think probably more scoring in the first half than the second half.
We have our guy Von Polo giving out Baltimore plus 250. Von Polo in the house, and we will show a clip of his new show on tomorrow's Betting with the Bag episode. But we have a new show. Look good, smell good. Look good, smell good, squad. I love it, man. This will be on Pub Culture TV, and I think it's going to be a big hit. And our guy Von Polo, Charm City's Von Polo. Look good, smell good, man.
That's me, looking good, smelling good. Yeah, so, I know what that's all about.
Chief Wickham in the house. I love it, dude. It was it's cool. It's different. It's cool. It's fun. Shout out to our guy Von Polo and our guy Victor on the 1s and 2s. All right. Well, I am going to continue working with this game. I think that this first half total here, I think this game is going to come to a screeching halt. The first half total in this one here is 17.5, and it's heavily juiced to the over at -127 here. I see 19s and 18.5s. Here we have a 17.5. Did you think about a first half over?
Oh yeah, definitely I would prefer a first half over way more than a full game over.
Did you come close to betting it?
This game. Now that I know, now that I know, because I didn't, maybe I overlooked it and I didn't see that, but when I first looked at this game, I did not think Daniel Jones was seeing any playing time, none at all. Now that I see that he's going to play, a chunk of the second quarter after Anthony Richardson leaves the game, that's certainly, I think, and remember, Jones has mobility. Jones is not a speed demon, but he can move. He's not a stiff in the pocket, and that matters when you're going up against backup defenders as well. So I think I'm talking myself into it, and I think I am going to move on a first half over here, Jimmy, in this game, rather than first half Colts. First half over makes sense, and I have way more confidence in that than the full game. So yeah, you're right. Over 17.5 -127 at Pinnacle. I think I'm going to cut down the juice and go with. Hopefully, I don't get. This doesn't cost me, but I'm going to go with to cut down on the juice a little bit. Over 19.5 minus 105. Still below the key numbers, 20 and 21. It would have to land on an 18 or a 19 for this decision to cost me. But I still below two very important key numbers. So I will lock in over 19.5 minus 105 first half.
You are locked and loaded, Bobano. Let's roll into our second spot on the board here. NFL action. It's going to be fun. And Bobano has moved on the first half over. We have 7:30 p.m. Eastern action. Cincinnati Bengals at the Philadelphia Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 76 Fahrenheit, 79 miles per hour. Zach Taylor has been horrific in the preseason. 3-12 overall, 0-5 the last 2 years.
That's straight up and ATS, by the way, with Zach Taylor, 3-12.
And now the Bengals have missed the playoffs 2 straight years. Nuts. And he wants to change that. They started 1-4 last year. He wants to change that. I lost in the survivor pool in week 1 when they fell to the Patriots. He wants to change that. He has said extended action for Joe Burrow. Do you believe that?
I heard a couple to 3 drives. That's what Zach Taylor has said, 2 to 3 drives for not only Burrow, but majority of the starters. So that's why there's just been this avalanche of money on Cincinnati. But again, I'm going to link this back to the last game we talked about. If you like Cincy now, you either don't bet it because you can't lay 6.5 when you could have had, near a pick 'em, early in the week, or at least, below a field goal. That you just long term, that's going to kill you doing that. If you're going to take the Bengals now, you have to, I think, look at a first half team total or first half spread on the Bengals. Because the one thing you're going to see a lot of with the Bengals, again, here is a quarterback duo in the second half that I'm not fond of. I've seen Desmond Ridder. And by the way, he just got signed by this Bengals team July 20th. So it's not like he's had all off season to study up on the playbook and the terminology on offense. He only got there a few weeks ago. You're going to see a lot of Desmond Ridder. We know what we've seen from him in NFL action. It's not been pleasant. It's not been pretty. And then after that, you're going to see Peyton Thorne, undrafted rookie out of Auburn and Michigan State, where he played in college. And that guy was just mediocre. He wasn't even mediocre. I think he was mediocre at best. I think below average quarterback at the college level. And, an undrafted rookie that you just signed. So that's not a quarterback rotation in the second half that I have any interest in for the Bengals.
So we expect no Jake Browning tonight?
That's been difficult to figure out with Taylor. Taylor hasn't said too much about how much, if at all, Browning's going to play. We know Burrow's going to play 2 or 3 drives. Who's coming in after Burrow is the question. Is he going to go to Browning? Is it going to be one of these deals like with Daniel Jones for the Colts? He's going to finish the first half. And then it's going to be the combo of Thorne and Ridder in the second half. Or are they going to just go right from Burrow to Ridder? That's the question. If you ask me, this is not fact. This is not anything I've read because it's been difficult to find out about this. But if you ask me, I think Browning will get a little bit of the second quarter after Burrow leaves. Because if you take the coach for his word, and I've done this before, though, and the coach has been full of shit, where he says Burrow's going to get 2 or 3 drives, and then all of a sudden, Burrow puts together a great, beautiful opening touchdown drive, first drive, and then that's it. He's taken out of the. I've seen that before too. Coach says he's going to get 2-3 drives at least, but they have such a great first drive. He's seen enough. He's happy. He takes Joe Burrow and lifts him out of the game. I've seen that before. So don't take Zach Taylor's words as gospel here.
Surprise, surprise. We're starting another season also talking about the Bengals offensive line. Trent Brown, Alex Kappa gone. So there's a lot of care being put into the offensive line supposedly here in the preseason. Again, we have an angry Bengals superstar before the season starting, as always. Trey Hendrickson waiting for the big contract. Yep. Samaje Perine is back with the Bengals. could get some run tonight, but it's Taj Brooks and Gary Brightwell that we expect to get most of the snaps. Shout out to our guy, Nunya, last year's Cappers Contest champion, gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. Chris Turner, Poke Blab, Population, Norshi, and Nardi 1 receiving the gifted memberships. Thank you, Nunya, my friend. Pub Sports Radio memberships to all, says our champion, Nunya, in the house. And remember, from now on, you have to be a member to be in our UFC contest. That is a new rule. From now on, you have to be a member to be in our UFC contests, free $100 contests right there. Gerald Jones says, can't wait for the Cappers contest. So, Taj Brooks, Gary Brightwell, we expect to get the bulk of the carries. At wide receiver, we expect to see Mitchell Tinsley, Cole Burgess, Charlie Jones, Isaiah Williams, Kendrick Pryor, and Jermaine Burton. Well, we've talked about the Bengals. We have not talked about your Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. Nick Sirianni, 3-7 in the preseason. It was a dominant performance in the Super Bowl. Tanner McKee expected to be QB2, and he's got that role. I don't know how long Tanner McKee plays, so that means Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord. Do you have an idea of how long those two play?
Yeah, from all indications here for them, and again, this is an Eagles team that's really not planning, from what I've read, and showing a whole lot here tonight. Why would they? Those Super Bowl champions, nothing to prove here really in the month of August. Just want to keep everybody as healthy as possible. Obviously, Tanner McKee is going to start. Tanner McKee has actually he played some last year. Remember, there was that one game where Hurts got injured, Pickett got injured, and then Tanner McKee, had to enter the game for the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's been in the system. He knows it. Well, which is a good thing. So, it's one of these deals where this is another one where a first half over, I could see it. If Burrow's going to get the playing time, that's going to be a good thing. I'd certainly love it more if Browning's in there instead of them going right to Ritter. But you would think McKee could have some success because McKee's been, in this offense. It's after that the concern is. And from what I've read, it looks like it's going to be McKee for most of the first half, maybe the entire first half. But Sirianni, it sounds like, hasn't committed to the entire first half for Tanner McKee. But he'll get most of the first half for sure. And then you're going to get a DTR Kyle McCord combo. The one thing about DTR is he can move around in the pocket as well. He can scramble. And this is a guy that's actually in the preseason in the past played some good games. In the regular season's a different story. But DTR, when he was with the Browns, I know there were a couple of games in recent years where he's played well in August. So there's a chance he could move the football later into the game. That's why, to me, you're nuts if you're laying 6. And I'm trying to say that with some nicety here. I'm not trying to say people are insane. You can make whatever bet you want. But to me, it's a little insane to lay 6.5 now with Cincinnati, considering what you're going to see in the second half with a combination of Thorne and Ritter. I don't trust it. And then on the flip side, the Eagles, you will see in the second half a decent amount of DTR in all likelihood. And that's a guy that, has some experience in this league, has that mobility factor to help against backup defenders. And I don't like Philly closing the game out with Kyle McCord, a guy straight out of college. But nevertheless, DTR, can at least make things happen and ad lib when the pocket collapses. And that's important because I'm telling you what, some of these offensive lines later in these early preseason games, it gets sketchy. Just look at last week. That was some very shaky offensive line play, particularly from Detroit last week in the Hall of Fame game. So to have that quarterback that can move around, very important later in the game.
As soon as Joe Burrow leaves this game, is this a live under bet?
It feels very similar to the last game we talked about, where if the points are going to come, they're going to come early, and then it could really slow down a decent amount after that, especially on the Bengals side. I want not much to do with a full game bet on the Bengals here because I don't want to trust Ritter. I don't trust Ritter or a Peyton Thorne.
Am waiting until it gets to 38 to play the under. The under 37 is at minus 111 right now. There was a big move towards that under at 37 this morning. It's since been bought back 5 cents. So I'm
very concerned too. Burrow lights it up first drive. Looks so good, so crisp, so sharp. And the offense just humming against a Philly team playing no starters on defense. And he said, okay, I've seen enough. I'm happy. Way to go, guys. And Burrow comes out lot of the offensive starters come out. That's what concerns me. I'm not totally buying this bull junk, as Deion Sanders would say, that Zach Taylor is for sure 100% committing to 2 or 3 drives for Burrow tonight.
The -6.5 available. The -6 first half available. The surprise here is the first quarter line is -0.5.
Really?
It feels like that's a mistake, doesn't it?
I'm trying to see first quarter. Let me just double check here. Which book was that, by the way?
That is Bet365 right now as we speak. Logged in -0.5 at -120. Why would that be? Is that a mistake? Do we think that books of this magnitude could be making mistakes like that?
Yeah, there's no way it should be that right now. First quarter line in this game should be a little bit should be higher than that. But yeah, you're right. -0.5, -185 money line, -0.5, -120 first quarter at Bet365. Holy mackerel! That's the bet to make. If you like the Bengals, that's the bet to make.
That's the
-0.5, -120. That's the bet, 100%. That's the biggest edge you have in this game.
Yes,
Burrow's going to be in there. There's no starters on D for the Eagles tonight. That's your edge right there. And you're right. I'm mystified that that's -0.5, quite honestly.
it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to set this up here.
That should be closer to 2.5, 3 on the first quarter line. Yep.
There we go.
This should be one of these deals where odds makers are aware of what's going on with the starters and the quarterback situation, and they should line this first quarter like they would an NBA game when it's the team that's down 0-2 at home, where you don't get the bargain on the first quarter and the first half, and it's closer to what the full game spread is. You know what I mean? Those NBA spots. Teams down 0-2 in a playoff series, they come back home for game 3, and oftentimes the first quarter and the first half point spread are a lot closer to the full game point spread on that team that's down 0-2. That's what should have happened here with this Bengals first quarter.
Well, I just bet it.
Yeah, that's the bet to make. I'm taking it. It's available. We're not fudging. I'm on that. Put that on my ledger too. Absolutely. I'm not passing. I was leaning Bengals before the crazy move, at least early in the game, and -0.5, -120 at Bet365. I'll put that on my official play card as well.
You got it. Come on. There we go. You got it. We are in business.
That's the move. That's the biggest edge for Cincy, if you like that side. It's not -6.5 where I got to keep my fingers crossed and say some prayers with Peyton Thorne in the fourth quarter. That's not it.
All right. Okay, so we continue our digging. And again, live bet live under as soon as Burrows is out. Now, that's as if the game goes exactly the way we have, scripted it.
Yeah.
Game 3 on tonight's card. Las Vegas Raiders at the Seattle Seahawks. Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. 68 Fahrenheit, partly sunny, 7 miles per hour. We have Pete Carroll coming back to Seattle. In my head, when I think of Pete Carroll, I don't think of him as a Seahawks coach. I think of him as a USC coach. So, look, I know that a lot of people think differently, but in my head, he's, but he is coming home to Seattle alongside Geno Smith. Now, on Medicate Monday, we had our guy Dutch Boy Fresh give out the Seahawks, and Dutch had just done a beautiful job in the Hall of Fame game, trusting Trey Lance, believing in Trey Lance would attack, and he felt the same thing about Jalen Milroe. That looked to be right, and it still could easily be right. But what happened was Pete Carroll said, everybody's live and everybody's ready to go. God, he's funny. I love him. It's fun to have him around.
He's going to bring a new culture and energy to the Las Vegas Raiders this year, just because of the demeanor. He's hugging guys at practice, and he's they're play tackling with, players on the team and practices and scrimmages this week. I mean, that's Pete Carroll, Mr. Energy.
It is. How many coaches, now maybe you already know.
Nobody chews gum like him either.
How many coaches do you believe the Raiders have had since their last playoff victory?
Wow. And that's a long ass time ago since their last playoff victory. Man, that might have been Gruden, the last fucking playoff victory, and Gannon all those years ago. I would say they've had, 7. That's my guess.
That was Gorky's guess as well. 14.
Oh my gosh, 14.
14.
Yeah, you're right. It's been 20 some years. It definitely, it would be more than 7.
14
coaches.
Now we're all excited about Ashton Genty.
God, 14 coaches in just a little over 20 years. That's not right. You don't run an organization that way. No.
So everybody's live. Everyone's ready to go, says Pete Carroll, which means that we will see a little bit of Geno Smith and we will see Aiden O'Connell. How much of North Dakota State's Cam Miller do we see, Bobano?
Haven't heard a lick about how much we're going to see, unfortunately. You figure we're going to see some, probably a decent amount. He was a great FCS quarterback. Like, I remember watching him in the FCS playoffs last year, and he's pretty good thrower of the football. Not overly mobile, but like I said, he threw the football well. It's going to be a question of how much time does he get, because remember, the Raiders only have 3 quarterbacks on their roster for right now. They've got Geno, who we assume is going to play, because Pete Carroll said everyone's on, and plus it's in Seattle, right? It's Geno gets a chance to play where he last was. You got to believe he's going to get some time. How much time, we'll see. A lot of Aiden O'Connell, probably. He'll get probably the most reps, snaps in this game tonight for the Raiders. Cam Miller, I think Cam Miller will probably get the late third quarter or fourth quarter. I think he'll get the fourth quarter for sure. But does he get more than that? I'm not so sure. It might be a Geno and Aiden O'Connell AOC split in the first 2 quarters of this game. I'm with you. This is a game where I locked in the Raiders money line, -120. And I did this before he said this stuff, Carroll, on Monday. When I locked in Raiders money line, because I just know one thing about Pete Carroll. He's going to a new team. He wants to install winning in culture. He's got a 26-19 straight up, 26-19 against the spread record in the preseason. For years, especially his early years in Seattle, this guy was a preseason juggernaut to bet on as a head coach. So I thought the Raiders money line early in the week was good. I'm leery now, though, at 4.5, 5. What I am going to move on in this game, though, is the full game over in this Raiders and Seahawks game. This is definitely a game where I want the full game, not the first half total. I want the full game total. So again, that's over 37, -106 is the best price out there with the over. You've got Geno and Aiden for a good chunk of the game for the Raiders. Cam Miller's the dicey one. This is a guy straight out of FCS ranks. Who knows how he's going to play? Maybe he will struggle a bit, but could always have a turnover or two and short field set up for Seattle, if he does struggle. And then on the flip side for McDonald with their rotation, no Sam Darnold, obviously, and he's made no bones about it. Not going to see much as far as the starting offense here tonight. You're going to see Jalen Milroe and Drew Lock for all of this game tonight. And Drew Lock's apparently going to get probably the second half, it sounds like. It sounds like Milroe's going to get the early part of the game, the rookie out of Alabama. And look, we know his throwing is not great, but again, you got a guy that can move. The mobility is the strength of Jalen Milroe, so that should help him a little bit, to be able to keep plays alive. And then you got Drew Lock, and Drew Lock should, and this is the concern if you're going to take the Raiders in the full game, he should have his way, or at least be able to have some success later in the game against backup third, fourth string defensive players on the Raiders side. For Drew Lock, he should have success against that. It should be a situation where he's able to move the football, Drew Lock, later in the game and put up points. So I think you factor in both of those things. The Raiders, going to get a lot of Geno and Aiden. The Seahawk rotation, a lot of Drew Lock later in the game. an experienced guy. Say what you will about him as a starter, but an experienced quarterback that later in the game against backup defenders should be able to make plays, move the ball, put up points. So that put me on the over here in this game at 37.
I love it. Over 37 and minus 106. I am going to keep working on these games throughout the day. But I did just bet that first quarter minus a half, minus 120 available at Bet365. So that is a bet that has been made. We have Bobano on the first half over 19.5, minus 105 in Indianapolis, Baltimore. He joined me on the first quarter minus half at minus 120, and he's on the over 37 and minus 106. Those are the bets that Bobano's making official with lines that you can bet right now.
Yeah, 37s are out there right now on that total. Minus a half, minus 120 with us at 365's there. That first half total, I didn't even get the best number on it. I preferred less juice and got 19.5 on that first half. Ravens total.
Tell everybody what you have in your pocket, because that is also important for our analysis.
You're talking about early in the week, the stuff that I bet?
Yeah.
So early in the week, Colts money line minus 130. All these sides that moved, these road teams that moved, I got on them early in the week for a little bit because I like the info coming out when Burrow was announced. Bengals minus 130, Raiders. The favorite one was the one I put the most on was Raiders. Minus 120 early in the week because of Carroll's track record in the preseason. We were already starting to hear rumblings that Mike McDonald wasn't going to play any starters, including Sam Darnold. So I just jumped on the Raiders right away, and knowing Carroll's track record in the preseason. So really, I moved on all of them at great prices. But I don't mind people looking at Seattle now, honestly, at plus 4.5. I get it. If it's going to be a lot of Drew Lock in the third and fourth quarter, it's a good thing, I think, for Seahawk bettors.
I do. I think that it might be better to get in live because new coach, everybody fighting, everybody, going 100 to show.
And McDonald's saying that it's up for grabs, the backup job behind Sam Darnold. He's not just giving it to Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Drew Lock's going to battle Milroe for it in camp here.
All right, that is our NFL breakdowns for Thursday, August 7th. Can't wait to be rocking Thursday Night Football with you as well, Bobano. It's going to be fun throughout the year. Now, let's move on to CFL. Our teams are facing each other. Bobano coming off a 6-0 week sweep in CFL. And it was my first really big week of the year. It felt good, and I want more. And I've not moved on any of these games yet. We start Thursday, August 7th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern this very evening. We've already heard from Slatsy that he's on the Lions team, total over 25.5 here in this one. We have Hamilton Stadium in Hamilton, Ontario, 78 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 9 miles per hour. AM here is on the under 55.5 at minus 110. Let me get this all copied and pasted here. And let's roll into the line history to get this one started, and then we will set the table here for Ian. We have the BC Lions as we speak right now at +3 at minus 113. This opened up just yesterday, wildly enough. I mean, now this is at the offshore that we use for. We know this was available at 365 and other books, far before that. But this opened up yesterday morning at 8:03 from this book that claims they don't kick out winners. We know that they do limit some of them. 8-cent move towards the Lions at +3, minus 105 to minus 113. The Ticats continue. An Irish King saying Saskatchewan winning the Grey Cup this year. Well, they need to rest Trevor Harris down the stretch. But he's been healthy all year. I do not expect him to stay healthy all year, but if he is, then you are in business. So, Bobano, these Ticats keep delivering. 3 straight road weeks. They deliver and deliver and deliver. Now, you cashed with the Elks +4.5, but they continue to step up and show their character. This total right now is 55.5. It's minus 110 to the under. I do see 54.5s and 55s, but this is 55.5 minus 110 to the under. Again, this opened yesterday at 8 in the morning at this book, so we've only seen 4 cents of movement towards the under. BC's coming off a bye week. This, to me, Bobano, is I can't sit back and expect the Ticats to continue to blow our minds and to surpass our expectations and to handle adversity, and they keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Are they going to be able to do it again? This is such an unfair situation. You have 3 straight road games and then 5 days off going up against a team that you just beat while down 33-23 with less than 3 minutes left in the game. That football team has been studying every move the Ticats have been making and have made this year over the last week and a half to 2 weeks, while the Ticats flew home, flew to Edmonton, flew back home. This is not fair. If this is so not fair, how are we not on the BC Lions first half and full game? Well, because of the Tiger Cats character. Bo Levi Mitchell was spectacular against BC 2 weeks ago. 34-41, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I would love to hear what Dave Dickinson thinks of all this. Dave Dickinson thought he was washed up, 3 years ago? Nathan Rourke.
Not so.
No, not so. No, I thought he was. I thought he was too. Nathan Rourke was 20 of 27. Dave Dickinson's supposed to be the guy to study quarterbacks, and he said Jake Mayer gives us a better chance to win. Nathan Rourke, 20 of 27, 289 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions in that game. James Butler ran wild 16 times for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. I've been very critical of him. The statistics tell me I should not be. 619 yards. He leads the CFL. Of course, he was a Ticat. He was being a BC Lion, a Ticat, and a BC Lion. Ticats orchestrated yet another late comeback. 28-24 win at Edmonton last week. They're clearly rolling. I don't know. When have we ever seen, I was trying to remember, when have I seen a team sweep a 3-game road trip in the CFL? I couldn't think of the last time I saw it. So Hamilton leads.
They could have went 1-2 instead of 0-3. They're down by 10 against BC. 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter 2 weeks ago. Come back and win, and they were trailing Edmonton in the last 2-3 minutes last week. Took the lead with a touchdown under 2 minutes left, and then got the stop on Edmonton to win that game in 28-24, because remember, they were down 24-21, and then they scored that touchdown to go ahead. And believe it or not, Edmonton probably should have scored because Keon Julian Grant drops a pass in the end zone, or else Edmonton would have taken the lead. So they pulled 2 of those wins on that road trip out of their keister.
It was
the Ticats.
Rem Mo says Dave Dickinson puts his pants on one leg at a time and wants more cowbell. That's what Rem Mo has said. One of the finest quotes here I've ever heard in the CFL. Rem, excellent work. So Gorky believes in the Ticats, says they snatched the BC Lions' soul. I do not believe that, of course. No one's soul gets snatched in the first half of the season, I believe, but that, always it's fun to disagree. So Hamilton leads the league in passing yards, 320.3. BC has allowed just 234.4, the fewest in the CFL. Now, that's not, if you look at who the quarterbacks that the Lions have gone up against, it's not, I don't know how legitimate that stat is. What I do know is legitimate is the Lions average 5.7 yards per rush, while the Tiger Cats allow the most yards per rush. What we know about the Tiger Cats, they've shown a ton of heart this year, and they have outscored every opponent in the fourth quarter. Is that not unbelievable? Plus 44. Last season, they were minus 56. Last year, they were minus 6 turnover ratio. This year, plus 9. We know how incredible White and Lawler are. Now, Keandre Smith, 21 catches for 276 yards and 3 touchdowns. Leading the league in scoring are these Ticats. Bo Levi Mitchell leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. The Lions have allowed 30 points in 2 consecutive games for their last 8, but they've had a long time and a lot of time to study this Tiger Cats team. Take it away, Bobano.
They've also won 2 in a row in Hamilton, including last year and the year before. And it's been a road team series. The road teams won 4 straight, in this series, 5 straight, because Hamilton's won 3 straight times in BC, but BC has won 2 straight times in Hamilton. I have to bet BC here, and I'm a Ticat fan, and I'll be cheering. I'll be at the game. Even I have to bet BC here. This is just such a difficult spot for the Ticats. 3 straight road games, the last 2 out west. BC 2 weeks ago, Edmonton last week, Saturday afternoon game in Edmonton, delayed by lightning, which pushed the finish of that game later, pushed the flight back to Hamilton later to Saturday night, and now you're playing on a Thursday, with just 1 or 2 practice days. That's very difficult. Like I said, 3 straight road games for them. That's very, very, and now a short week after the road trip. I don't know what the league is thinking with this scheduling dynamic for Hamilton, but that is brutal. If you're going to give a team 3 straight road games, which doesn't happen often, at least give them a full week, to get ready for that next game. But no, you're going from Saturday to Thursday. That's a concern for me. BC has not played since Hamilton stole that victory from them 2 weeks ago at BC Place Stadium. They're off the bye week. Everything situationally screams BC here, but BC has problems. BC's defense stinks. BC is undisciplined at times with penalties. I've not been impressed with Buck Pierce nor the rest of that coaching staff. Benavides has done a poor job with his defense, which has been getting worse week in and week out. All that being said, though, this is set up just beautifully for BC. I bet them right away when the openers were out Sunday night, Monday morning. I got a 4.5 on BC. What a great number that was on the BC Lions. But there's still some 3.5s out there, -1 if you shop around. So make sure you do. 3.5 is the prevailing number. I will lock in the 3.5 with BC here. Plus 3.5, -115 at Betway.
-115 at Betway for Bobano. Lions plus 3.5. I'm going to be moving on to BC Lions as well. Arnillo saying not overthinking it. Tiger Cats are.
I get it. I mean, maybe they do it again. Salute to Hamilton. If they win and cover tonight, I'll be a happy fan. Maybe not a happy bettor, but I'll be a happy fan. And salute to them. That will be astonishing if in this mother of all brutal scheduling spots, they overcome it and win again. It also might speak volumes about how BC is just in a world of hurt right now if they allow that to happen.
The coaching.
You have to remember Nathan Rourke is a competitor.
And
he knows 2 weeks ago, and he's been off since that game. We blew it against Hamilton. We should have won that game. And he's going to be a pissed off quarterback tonight, Nathan Rourke. I'd expect him to play well. The total I lean over, but I don't love it. It's pretty high, 55.5. And when he had a 70-point shootout 2 weeks ago with these 2 teams, I must admit I'm not rushing to bet the over just 2 weeks later. The same 2 teams.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm going to be on the Lions as well, and I expect to have to double up on it because, and now look, I could split up a unit into first half. I'm not going to do that, but I have to have the Lions first half and full game because of the character of this Tiger Cat squad. I need both, and I will be betting both here. So Gorky,
I think the first half's a really good look. I agree with that. Yeah.
This is not fair. It's not fair what the schedule has done to the Tiger Cats.
Yeah.
Not fair. Not fair. But not everybody agrees, and I get it. And that's part of the fun here. I'm going to be on the Lions first half and full game, but I haven't bet it yet. Bobano on the Lions plus 3.5 and -115. Bobano, we have to go very quickly here, and we probably don't have time for full breakdowns for Friday and Saturday for me because we only have you for 6 minutes. So my full breakdowns will come tomorrow on the next games, but we have Elks Alouettes, Percival Molson Memorial Stadium tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 mile. Oh, sorry, let me get this over here. 7 mile per hour winds. And you, as well as Slatsy, moved on the Elks at plus 4.5.
Yeah.
And I had that opportunity.
But
the
problem is goodbye 4.5. Yeah.
Yes. But I had that chance. I was in the X thread. And it was so funny because I'm staring at you and Slatsy talking back and forth, watching it, but it's in X. It's not like in our own private chat.
Yeah.
And you say exactly what I'm thinking. And what was that reply? Do you remember?
Oh, we're reading the same playbook. I think I said something like that.
The one after that.
Oh, shit.
Your discomfort comes only.
Well, it was Montreal getting their ass kicked at home by Saskatchewan. Yes.
Yeah.
And they are a good, well-coached team. They're still a good football team. But what's concerning is I don't know if all the motivation and all the pissed off thoughts in the world are going to overcome the injury report. The injury report's a mess. I mean, they're talking about Sutton and Stakwa and Kabianento and all these guys in the secondary are banged up. O-linemen are banged up. Receiving core is gutted right now. There's no Mac. There's no Philpott. They got multiple injuries there. And now, look, they have depth, but that's a lot of stress now on Rambo and Cole Speaker and, Alexander Hollins, who just got there. They signed him after BC let him go. That might have been a dumb mistake, too, by BC. We're talking about BC struggling, but Hollins was a good receiver. They let him go, and now he's with Montreal. I loved Edmonton, and the Cody Fajardo storyline's the big part of it. They traded Cody Fajardo away, Montreal, in the offseason, so they could anoint Davis Alexander as the starting quarterback. You don't think he wants to go back to Montreal, face his former team for the first time in Montreal, and prove a point, make a statement? Of course he does. There's no doubt that he wants to do that. And say what you will about Edmonton, they're still finding ways to lose. When I got on them at 4.5, and probably Slats feels the same way, Slatsy, Edmonton's 2-0 ATS with Fajardo under center since they made the quarterback change. They lost by 3 at Saskatchewan. They were right there. Lose by 4 against Hamilton last week. They were right there. A play here and a play there. They could have won both of those games. So there has been improvement in Edmonton. 4.5, I really like Edmonton. I just don't know if I can move on it now. I don't. I mean, it's below 3. If it was even 3 at minimal juice, I'd probably put it on the card. But 2.5, 2's now out there. It's not as easy to go ahead officially with Edmonton, but I loved it above the field goal.
Now we can still get you 3s. There's still
if you can find me a 3, Jimmy, I'll add it. I do want the 3.
Oh
yeah.
Shoot! Sorry, my bad.
Or no?
Sorry.
I didn't see too many.
No, sorry. That was my fault. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Plus 3 minus 132 at Pinnacle, but I don't think I want to do it at that price.
Well, I learned a lot from the Calgary-Ottawa game because you guys, both you and Slatsy, had 4.5. You had 4.5 on either side. Slatsy had 4.5 and 3.5 plus on either side. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, Boban.
Yeah.
For 2 days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And
I'm not mistaken. You hammered that game and won everything in that game, right?
5 units, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. Yeah. And what happens to me now, instead of being, and I've talked about this out loud, I've had this problem in my capping for years of jealousy. Jealousy when a friend gets a better line than me. That jealousy affects me so much that I almost shut down and just leave it alone. And I've been talking about it loud. I got to fix that. I couldn't stop thinking about that game, and I pulverized it in the end.
Even with bad numbers on Ottawa and Calgary's team, I think you had Calgary's team total under as well. Yeah. So still won. Yeah. So maybe I should add Edmonton to the card, even at 2.5. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm still trying to fix all of the things that hurt my capping, and I have the opportunity with this show to focus on the things that are taking away from my bankroll. Here, I felt different because the note that you said about the Alouettes, I couldn't get past, and I still haven't gotten past. And I'm going to be thinking about this game nonstop. There is no Habs hockey right now. The Expos are long gone. Don't think, like, Quebec loves football. Football is massive in Quebec. The Alouettes just lost 34-6, and they're being destroyed in the media. And I couldn't get over, even at the 4.5, even with all the injuries, I couldn't get over that.
Even with Cody looking to stick it to his former team, yeah.
Fajardo
traded him away. Traded away a Grey Cup champion quarterback so they can make another guy the starter.
Well, he was just 16-12-1 as a quarterback for the Alouettes, but I hear you. So we're going to talk more about that here tomorrow. Bobano, do you have action on Red Blacks, Argonauts, or Bombers, Stampeders that you want us to use for record-keeping purposes?
Yeah, quickly on both. Let's talk about the fact I'm on the over in both of those Saturday games. So over 52.5, minus 115 with Ottawa, Toronto. I think there's points in that game. I think Drew Brown got his swagger back. I know Calgary was in a brutal spot. The offense wasn't moving the ball, and the defense was banged up. But Drew Brown needed a big game offensively. And look, his offensive line was healthier. He got Braylon Addison back at receiver. This is also the healthiest receiving core Ottawa had in weeks last week, and they put up a bunch of points. And I still don't love the Toronto defense. And now Winton McManus watch is back on. He's questionable. He's back on the injury report for Toronto, and that's a concern for that defense. He's their best player there. So I think Ottawa moves the ball. I think Toronto does, though. I like what I'm seeing out of Nick Arbuckle. And what I love about overs in Toronto games, and they've been an over machine lately, Toronto, is that he gives points to the Argos, Arbuckle, and at times he can give points to the other team. So that's a good news as far as the over goes there, 53. But from a side perspective, Jimmy, I'm going to be on Ottawa here, thinking that after beating Calgary, they get a little momentum, a little swagger, feeling a little good finally, and momentum they can build on. A revenge game, too, because they lost at home to Toronto earlier this year. Remember, that's the game where Toronto won off 2 Derek Sluka non-offensive touchdowns. He had a defensive touchdown and a blocked field goal return touchdown in that game for Toronto against Ottawa. Derek Sluka's out. He didn't play last week. He's a big special teams player. He is also a very good defensive player for them. So I think Ottawa, plus 3.5, minus 112 is the price, the best price out there with Ottawa. I will go with that. I think if Toronto, I still don't love laying points with Toronto. Toronto was laying points against, Toronto was favored one time this year, only one other time before this game. It was week 2 against Calgary, and they lost outright. Not a team I trust in the favorites role, the Argos, especially if McManus is going to miss this game. So Ottawa in the over there. Winnipeg, Calgary.
What was the over number? Sorry, Bobano?
52.5, minus 115.
Thank you.
With that.
Okay, keep rolling.
And then Winnipeg, Calgary, the last game for week 10. Let's just take you back to before Winnipeg played at Calgary a month ago in Calgary. It was the first meeting. Calgary, in that game, was a 4.5, 5-point home underdog. Look at the difference 1 month makes perception-wise. Now they're laying 5 at home when they were a 4.5, 5-point home underdog to Winnipeg in the first meeting. Now, granted, they beat the brakes off Winnipeg. 2 pick sixes from Zach Collaros, who is going to start here. He's back at practice, so he'll play. And it looks like VA is going to be back here for Calgary as well. After P.J. Walker played, it looks like VA is going to be in under center. But it seems like a huge swing in the point spread toward Calgary. They were 4.5 home dogs a month ago hosting Winnipeg. Now they're laying 5. They're also a team that they've been favored twice this year, Calgary, and they lost both games outright as favorites at home. The game against Ottawa, which was brutal weather, and I think it impacted Calgary more negatively than Ottawa, but they still lost that game outright as favorites against Ottawa. And then the game against Montreal 2 weeks ago, where they were 6.5, 7-point home favorites, they lost outright to Montreal. And MBT, who had the one good game that he's had all season as a starter, MBT, against Calgary. That's really the only really good game he's played, and it came against Calgary. So I think there's probably some value on Winnipeg here, and I'm going to take Winnipeg. Even though they're 0-2 straight up in ATS against Calgary this year, and they got blown out in both games. Remember the game they got blown out in Winnipeg, the Bombers by the Stamps? That's the game Collaros got injured. Strevler came in. The game kind of got away from them. VA was lighting it up to Damian Alford, who, by the way, Damian Alford was a big part of the points that Calgary put up in that game in Winnipeg, and he's still injured, and they're still banged up on D. Adrian Green, their best corner. Let's see if he plays. I'm not so sure. They're still going to be without Alford. Bagleton's still out long-term. Calgary does look like they're going to get Clark Barnes back, which is big. And here's the thing for Collaros. People are shitting on Collaros, and rightfully so. He's not been good. He's too many interceptions, too many turnovers. But guess who he gets back this week? His all-star left tackle. The Stanley Bryant, who's been here forever for this Winnipeg team. He missed last week. He's back, and that is that's the linchpin of that offensive line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He's been he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, when his career's over. That's how good he's been. But Stanley Bryant will be back at his left tackle spot for Winnipeg in this game. So I think the Bombers can hang. You're getting a big adjustment now, considering where this point spread was a month ago. Calgary was a 4.5-point dog at home. Now they're a 5-point favorite at home against that's a huge adjustment. Let's be honest. That is a big-time adjustment. Maybe it's warranted, but one thing I know, I'm getting a Winnipeg team that is going to be out for blood here. they've been destroyed twice by Calgary now. And I think they're at least good and maybe not win, but we don't have to get them to win with the number we're getting here on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So I will be on Winnipeg here for the finale of Week 10 at, let me just pull up what the best number is here with this game. Plus, our friends at Tony Bet here, Ontario-based book, have a +6, -118 with Winnipeg. I like that. I'll lock that in. And this is another over for me. I think now this game, Winnipeg's defense is still shoddy. We saw it the last 2 weeks against Toronto. I think Zach will play better. Calgary's still a bit banged up on defense. But we go from P.J. Walker to Vernon Adams this week for Calgary. Huge upgrade. I think the points flow again between these two teams. Both games were overs the previous 2 head-to-head meetings this year. So I will get in on that as well. The over here in this game. Let me just bring up what the best number is. I want to just see if there's a 51. Most books have 51.5 right now. Just want to do a check here to make sure, see if there's a 51 out there anywhere with that. Okay, over 51 -120 at Pinnacle. So over 51 -120. I will add that as well. So there you have it. CFL Week 10.
You are in business. Bobano, I have one final question. The crazy amount of kick return and punt return touchdowns in the CFL. Is that an outlier? Is that nuts? Is that going to...
It will slow down at some point. There's been a lot. We saw 2 from the same player last week for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against Toronto. Vital, I think, was his name. It was just absolutely outstanding to see that. And look, there has been a huge increase in kick return touchdowns this year. I don't know what's caused it, but there's no doubt there's been way more at an incredible clip. There's going to be some kind of a slowdown, you would think, at some point with that, though.
So is it? I mean, you must be cashing overs left, right, and center with this amount.
It's funny. Last week is a week where I wasn't as bullish on some of those overs last week in the CFL, and sure enough, we had a week with 3-1 to the under. Now the Hamilton-Edmonton game, that was a brutal beat with the under because Edmonton dropped a touchdown that would have gone over the total that game, and then Edmonton also got stopped on the 1-yard line in that game, and that should have been a touchdown that would have put that game over the total. But still, it was 3-1 to the under last week in the CFL. The only game that went over was Toronto-Winnipeg. I did lean under, and I did have a small bet on the Saskatchewan-Montreal under last week. So we did see 3 unders out of 4 games last week. So a little bit more of a comeback down to earth last week with the overs. And this week, I only love the 2 overs on Saturday. I think if I were to play the total in Edmonton-Montreal, I would take the under, because I just think Montreal with MBT is an under team. Because every MBT start, 3 straight Bethel Thompson starts for Montreal have all gone under the total.
Yeah. The Elks defense, I still find
that's the tricky part. Yes.
Yeah. Great stuff as always, Ian. Yeah. Thank you so much for putting the time and energy towards us. It means a ton. Cannot wait to see you at Woodbine, the star of the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. They have their college futures conference breakdowns up right now. Go check them out. Tell us what else is going on the Hitting the Books YouTube channel, my friend.
Every preview video is now complete for college football. So we did the Power 4 conferences. They're up on the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. Yesterday, we did the Group of 5 conferences preview show. We just did each conference in quick hitter style. AAC, Conference USA, Mountain West, and Pac-2, MAC, and Sun Belt. We did all that yesterday, so make sure you check that out. So all the college football season preview shows are up on the Hitting the Books YouTube channel. We still have MLB shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting the week of Monday, August 18th. And by the way, Monday, August 18th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific will be our season premiere of the College Football Hitting the Book show, our first in our regular format. You guys remember it going back to when that show was on this channel, where we did it. The shows on Monday. We did all the weeknight games and all the big games on the Saturday slate. We previewed them on Monday. We'll break down every week 0 game. Monday, August 18th. That'll be our premiere show. And then the baseball show, Hitting the Books, the MLB version, will just be Tuesdays and Fridays starting that week. So that's going to be the schedule moving forward. College football hitting the books Mondays live, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, every Monday starting August 18th. And then MLB hitting the books Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you check out the Hitting the Books channel.
There is our guy, Mr. Ian Cameron. Come up to Woodbine and rock with us. Yeah, God, the 23rd, not long from now. All right, it is time to move on back to Major League Baseball. Let's bring in our star of Thursday shows, off to a wonderful start with this 4-0 Athletics lead, official pick that we gave out here from our guy, Morgan Spooner. Spoon Dog, how's it going, my man? Must be feeling good with the start that you're on. How are you?
Yeah, that's a good start. I was kind of looking at the lines. I saw Circa got up to like minus 151 on that. And I peeked back right at the game time, and I saw minus 136, and that's never what you want to see. So it's still very early, ton of baseball left to be played, but Lopez looks really good out there. It looks like the Athletics are getting to Parker just kind of how I thought they would. Nobody told them it was 9 o'clock for their body clocks, apparently.
Yeah, I love to see it. 4-0 lead. Let's get to work, my friend. Let's get to work. We'll have Jose joining us here very shortly. He is live at the Southtown 101. I am trying to, how about this? Let's get these games up here a little bit wider, and then I'll be able to figure out where we stand. All right. God, I can't see shit. Okay, Jose's got it. Okay, beautiful. Let's get to work. Chicago White Sox 42-72, 18-40 on the road at the Seattle Mariners 62-53, 33-25 at home. We are at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. I, with Justin Mcelvy, was on the run line on the Mariners last night. And every time I think about the run line, Morgan, I think of the great statistics that you helped, that you and Kyle Kerms compiled on favorites this year. And what that has done is my ROI on run lines has skyrocketed because I barely bet them. I maybe bet one every 3 weeks.
It's not that you can't win one. You got to look at the overall numbers. I mean, if it's not a profitable bet in the majority of games, you got to be very confident in those ones that you solo out. I kind of question how that might change here in the second half of the season, as like some of the teams got rid of their elite bullpen pieces. They got given to the better teams, and the better teams just have so much more to play for. I wonder if some of those statistics don't even out a little bit, but I'm still not looking to play any minus 1.5s. Great job hitting that in Seattle last night. That was a sweat there in the ninth inning, though.
It was not comfortable, and I've been noticing Munoz looking vulnerable. He just doesn't. There's some, and now I know that was only the second home run that he's allowed all year, that Michael A. Taylor blast, but it's funny. His numbers don't say that he's vulnerable, but
so I circled out a Yankees game where they had a runner on second base, and that second baseman was relaying the signs into the hitters, and it makes me think that they picked up on something that other teams have been able to kind of find, because Munoz has had a very dominant career. It doesn't look like his stuff has really changed that much. I think he might have a slight tip or something, and it's harder to tell with relief pitchers because they're only out there for such a short time, but something doesn't look right with Munoz.
But you were right. Its velocity is fine, still a ton of movement, but I don't feel that comfortable when he. But this lineup, it's not that Suarez and Naylor are doing a ton. It's just the confidence that it's brought the lineup. They just seem a little different. They seem a little more confident. Their lineup is just a little bit deeper. Action Jackson says, screw this. Give me the White Sox money line. And he is not alone, Morgan, my friend. He is not alone, because you know who else is backing the Chicago White Sox first 5 innings today. It is none other than our friend Billy Friedrich. Also, Spooner, he's not on first 5 plus a half. He's on first 5 money line at plus 220. Let's bring on the third of the trio here, the backbone of Pub Sports Radio, coming to us from our home studio at the Southtown 101 in San Antonio, Texas. Please welcome our friend Jose Bouquett to the program. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Jim. Excited to be here. I'm sorry I don't sound like I'm excited to be here, but I am ready to attack. Working on the sounding exciting part of it.
And this is a big week for everybody in San Antonio with Pub Sports Radio, as we have our big card show, our next big card show. It is Saturday and Sunday, but that's what's happening on Sunday. Tony Dorsett and Drew Pearson are going to be there, which is so cool. I mean, who isn't a huge Tony Dorsett fan? It's just my own he's just as famous as you get. Drew Pearson, also a monster. So both of them will be there on Sunday. But Saturday and Sunday, we have our big card show, Alamo card show, that we will be talking about a lot here over the next little while. That is this weekend. Jose will be there. Victor will be there. Of course, Jeff Slaughter will be there. Please go and if you're in the area, please support our big card show. Let's roll. Coin says Smith is 4-5-1, first 5 money line on the road in 2025. Let's start with the weather, fellas. Just 3 games for us to attack before we get into WNBA with Billy Brisbane and Justin Mcelvy. We have 60 Fahrenheit, feels like 59, much cooler than we've seen over the last little while. 4.5 miles per hour left to right, dies down at 3.6 miles per hour. Ballpark Pal here is at let me move over here. Ballpark Pal for Seattle today is -6%, -4% homers, -9% doubles and triples, -3% singles. I think what we're seeing, Spooner, is the pitchers' time to. Now, I don't mean to simplify things too much because I don't, but the watching Mitchell Parker struggle, watching Jonathan Cannon struggle. We're not seeing pitchers change or turn things around. The bots are back. Means football's back when these ass clown bots are back. Shane Smith, 3-7, 4.25 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. He's been very good all year. He's been trustworthy. He's coming off a 6-3 win at the Angels. He's been fine on the road. In fact, he's been really good on the road. Now he's been better at home. He's allowed 6 home runs on the road, 4 at home. Opponents hitting .239 against him on the road. He's allowed less hits than innings, 44 hits in 48 2/3. He's allowed 23 earned runs in 10 starts. Justin Mcelvy going back to the Mariners run line on this one. Lefties hit him harder than righties. Lefties 229, 742. It's not like they smash him. Righties 236, 56. Logan Gilbert on the other side. Logan Gilbert 3-4, 3.45 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, 112 strikeouts over 78 and a third, 18 walks, 10 homers. His last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, no walks, and a 4-3 win at home over the Rangers. He does not look as dominant as I remember, but it was still a very quality start. He's only allowed 12 earned runs in 9 home starts. I mean, this guy's been spectacular. I mean, why am I upset that he allowed 3 earned runs in his last start? He's been phenomenal. 12 earned runs in 9 home starts. He's allowed just 24 hits in 47 2/3. Opponents are hitting 144 against him at home. It's colder. It's a run-suppressing park. We have 2 very good pitchers. White Sox versus righties are hitting them hard. 251, 754 OPS last 30 days. Mariners, 235, 749. This White Sox bullpen's been pitching very well now for almost a full calendar year. It started in the second half of last year. 3.41 ERA, 1.25 WHIP last 30 days. While the Mariners are 4.27 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow, and then hear from Spooner and Jose Bouquett. We have the money line, very, very expensive, -275 for the Seattle Mariners. Opened up at 267. There was an initial move to the Mariners over the first 5 hours. This line was available at this offshore that we use that doesn't come out until nighttime, 7:47 p.m. Not the afternoon books, but the night books. -267. It got up about 12 cents in the first 5 hours. Then it came back. since the first move we saw today was at 12:36 p.m. We saw a big one, 23-cent move to the Mariners. So it hadn't been moving, minus 264, and then you see a minus 287. Right now we have a minus 275, 8 cents of movement. 8 cents of movement. Let's get to the total here. The total in this one is a 7.5 at minus 116. Opened up 7.5 at minus 113. I thought the total would be lower than that, but I guess both teams are hitting the ball pretty hard right now, which can explain that. You have 70% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners, 67% of the tickets, and 93% of the cash on the under. Again, and I keep going back to this sort of thing, 93% of cash on the under. Run suppressing ballpark. Two very good pitchers. Why the hell is this not, minus 130 to the under 7.5 and maybe a 7? If it was, I would certainly be wanting to bet the under. Maybe the offenses are hitting too hard. Spooner, take it away. White Sox, Mariners, this game, first pitch is in less than 3 hours. Take it away.
I have a hard time moving on these games with the giant spreads unless I have a really good take on that dog. This is one of those games where I'd kind of circle out the TJ special. You take the first 5 plus a half. You can even go as far as getting plus a full run in this game in the first 5. And looking at the total, this is T-Mobile, one of the most under-friendly parks over the last 5 or 6 years in all of baseball. And this opened at a 7.5 juice to the under. All they've done is take money and tickets on that under. And I like to watch Circa as one of my favorite books to just pay attention to. And they moved to 7.5 minus 125 initially right from the start. They moved it down to a minus 120. Then they went back to minus 125. And they never even close to got moving it to an actual 7. And I kind of wonder why that is. I think it's kind of telling that they don't want to put the 7 out there. I think they're going to get hammered on that 7 if it shows up. And I try to explain to myself just with the X's and O's how they get that many runs. You talk about Munoz having some issues there in the bullpen. These White Sox bats have been swinging really well now for over a month. And Seattle, they just made some pretty good improvements to their lineup. I think this might be a sneaky over spot. My initial lean to the under is just built off that park and just liking Shane Smith and liking Logan Gilbert. But both of these guys can go out there, have good starts, give up 2 runs apiece, and the bullpens can give up a few more, and that under is completely cooked. This is a game I ultimately couldn't move on, but I think it's really telling they won't put that 7 up there. Circa went ahead and moved it the minus 120 to minus 125 without even moving the other side, the over line. So it tells me they're more concerned with that over, even with all the tickets and all the money on the under. It's got to be an over. I'm just not going to move on it.
AM has moved on the over. The start before him allowing 3 earned runs against the Rangers, he shut down the Brewers over 6 1/3. We know what he can do at home. The start before that, he allowed 1 earned run, but he only made it through 4 2/3. That was at home against the Royals. He walked 3 batters in that one. He's not walked a batter in his last 2 home starts. Now, you guys know, and I should pull out the stats. I'll pull out the stats here this week. My first 3s plus a half, getting 9 outs, have been extremely strong this year. And I don't know why I wouldn't want that here. Why wouldn't Shane Smith be able to get 9 outs? Jose Bouquett, White Sox, Mariners, my friend, take it away.
Yeah, I've stayed off this game too. You guys typically know I'll just lean the dog in these situations, so I'll just leave that out. But I am a little wary about the bullpens. Everyone knows I also like Shane Smith here. Another reason why I don't like an under is just because Seattle is literally the best over team in baseball this year. It's been kind of surprising to say that. I think, it's a combination of having these low totals and then Cal Raleigh just hitting the shit out of the ball. So I stayed off this game as well. Gun to head, if I had to bet over under this game, I would pick over, yes, but nothing for me.
I want this first 3 plus a half. It's impossible for me not to. We have in the chat here a Can't Stop AC saying it's a 7 now. I see 1-7. It's minus 120 to the over, plus 100 to the under. Now, what happened here? This is a very sharp book out of Costa Rica. I think it's the second sharpest of the offshores. There was an 11-cent move 24 minutes ago to the under 7.5. Got up to minus 129 on the under 7.5, and they moved it to 7, plus 100 to the under, minus 120 to the over. Curious to see if the other books follow suit. Where we used to play poker has their under 7.5 minus 121. The question here, no, wager detective. That's a different story. A very different story. One of hostage taking and heads being cut off. So no, wager detective. Spooner, you think Shane Smith can get me 9 outs?
Like I said, that's my lean, is circling just him, not involving that White Sox bullpen. I would look at that first 5, the first 3 as well. It's difficult to say he can get you 9 outs because there's a lot of bats in this Seattle lineup that can put that run up just by themselves. You got Randy Arozarena, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Naylor, Suarez, all hitting in those first 5 spots. So you're going to have to get through each one of them. I like Shane Smith. I think he's got a great changeup, good pitch mix. I think he's in a pitcher's ballpark. We look at some of his road starts where he struggled. He had to go to Colorado. Nobody pitches well there. He had to go to Dodgers Stadium. While it is a little pitcher friendly, it hasn't played that way this year. And the LA Dodgers lineup is still more formidable, in my opinion, than the Seattle lineup. Like, he went into Houston, another kind of pitcher friendly park, went 6 innings, just gave up 1 earned run. But that lineup at the time is not where the Mariners are. I wouldn't put it on my card if that's what you're asking me, but I think he can get you 9 outs.
Those were a couple of ugly starts, so you're right. At Chavez Ravine, he gets touched up badly. Then in the thin air Colorado, he gets touched up again. I mean, we can create excuses for him. He's not been that strong. I don't know why I would sit and expect it, honestly. There's a really good vibe in Seattle. I know Suarez never hit in the the Mariner uniform, but they're clearly happy to have him back. Justin McCelvy on Logan Gilbert over 8.5 strikeouts at plus 123. By the way, Kong Clip says Andy Reid just announced that Patrick Mahomes will play the first quarter of their preseason game on Saturday. Well, I thought that after this I would get there. Now, Spooner, we talk, the first thing I do, and I don't do it as much in baseball just because our volume is so high. In NFL, we have a lot of time to cap, right? We have that week where we're planning it and, planning. And I always, in my spots in NFL, say, what could go wrong? How do I lose this bet? I write down how I lose this bet. I know it involves Shane Smith, but I want you to touch on Logan Gilbert. How does Billy Friedrich catch the pig milk play today? Shane Smith, the White Sox first 5 plus 220.
You look at Logan Gilbert. This is a guy that pitches really well in this home ballpark, but if we look at his starts, he's given up runs in every single one of these. Milwaukee, he was able to blank, but even teams like Kansas City, who wasn't hitting well at the time, teams like Boston were all able to get runs off him. Texas just got 3 off him. He's been on the road a lot, so it's not like he's getting that comfortable here at home. He's stacking a consecutive home start, which I don't like, and part of the reason I couldn't circle the White Sox, but he's not invincible. And these White Sox bats have really been alive. Like, versus right-handed pitching the last 2 weeks, they're 5th in baseball in WRC+. On the opposite side, the Mariners versus right-handed pitching in the last 2 weeks are 29th in WRC+. So if we just look at that really recent form and just isolate it to that, you say Shane Smith comes out here and deals with a lineup that even with those added names, he doesn't care who they are. He's just going out there to get outs, and he's getting the benefit of finally pitching in a pitcher-friendly park. I mean, we go down the list of the places he's pitched. The 28th of May was the last time he was in like anything close to a pitcher-friendly park, and that was in New York Mets Stadium there in Citi Field. So it's not like he's had the ability to pitch in these pitcher-friendly parks. If you change the way that the White Sox park was built, his numbers would look a lot differently. So you would be on the back of Shane Smith and just relying on one of these White Sox to hit a home run.
You're right. He's not pitched in pitcher-friendly parks. You could maybe count Detroit as one. It certainly was before they brought the outfield walls in. He didn't allow a run there in 5 innings. No, that was a home. Sorry. He's not pitched in pitcher-friendly parks this year at all. Not at all. I'm a little surprised by that. Okay, I'm going to need more time on this one. I thought that by the end of this, I would be on the White Sox first 3+1/2. I didn't get there. Let's roll on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Cincinnati Reds 60-55, 27-29 on the road to the Pittsburgh Pirates 49-66, 32-27 at home. PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's get into the weather here. 83 Fahrenheit, 7.2 miles per hour in, dies down at 6.3 miles per hour. Let's get into Ballpark Pals expectation here at PNC Park. -1%, -24% home runs, +13% doubles and triples, and +3% singles. I have the luxury of hearing Spooner's thoughts the night before games, and it is a luxury. It is an asset. And we went back and forth here on this one. You explained to me why you like the Cincinnati Reds. You got them on the +1 line at +106. TJ also moved on the Cincinnati Reds at +150. Take a look at the line history here for this one. We have a total that is a 7. And it is a 7 -115 to the under. This opened up under 7 +101 to the under. 16 cents of movement towards the under. It's a very interesting number. A number that a lot of people like to bet overs at 7. We have the Pirates -162. They opened up at -169. The high watermark of -173 happened at 6:53 this morning. When we get to the cash flow here for Pirates Reds, we have 51% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Cincinnati Reds. 87% of tickets and 94% cash on the under. Coin saying Singer with 2 decent starts for Pittsburgh this year. Yet he's 4-4-1 first 5 money line on the road. 1 start was suspended in Boston, leaning Cincinnati money line for Coin. Justin McCelvy, Reds +145 in his pocket, and he will be at the game. Turnbuckle Tommy says Singer on the road has been painful to watch. Flank stake play of the day from 9 Legacy is Skeens under 4.5 hits allowed. DC Capper on the under 7, AM on the over 7. Let's get these all copied and pasted. Spooner, we had a back and forth yesterday, and again, it's a huge. I'm very fortunate to hear your thoughts on a game so early, so I can sit with it for so long. You talked about Skeens the last 2 outings, and of course, these reports saying that he would be limited in the second half, but we have not heard when that will start. We're still waiting on that. You talked about the Reds having way more motivation to win. That's absolutely right. Talking about how Skeens has gone 94 and 99 pitches the last 2 outings, so they're certainly not holding him back at this point. Then you talked about Singer allowing most of his damage to lefties. Let's take a look at the expected lineups here over at RotoWire for these lineups. The Brady Singer is allowing lefties to hit 259 with a 789 OPS. Righties are hitting just 230 with a 664 OPS. When we take a look at the lineup for the Pirates, you have Horwitz batting first. Reynolds is a switch who's done little to nothing. O'Neill, Cruz, and that is it for the expected lineup. Just 3 left-handed bats, which does bode well for Brady Singer. Bodes quite well. So my reply after sitting with it was Singer had been spectacular in 2 straight home starts. He's had just 2 road starts since July 1st, and he's not got more than 9 outs in either. So the main question, the most important question in this baseball game is, can Singer hold his form from the last 2 games, those 2 home starts where he's been spectacular? And then for me, the most important angle in this game was that Skeens just got humbled in Colorado. That was it for me. That made me want to back him. That made me want to back him. 4 earned runs in 5 innings. He allowed a home run. They lost at Colorado. That made me want to back him. And that still makes me want to back him. I don't care that the market has moved slightly against it. I think some of the aura of Skeens has dissipated a little bit. Now, Spooner, I've just talked a lot about our conversations back and forth last night. You had already moved on the Cincinnati Reds. Tell us more about why you did that and how you are feeling now after sleeping on it, waking up to it, and watching the market marinate.
Yeah. So as I was talking to you, I was going back and forth between that, just the money line where you could get it. I think it was like plus 155 or so at the time, and doing the plus 1. Just one thing I looked at from college basketball was the amount of times I just tried to go with the dog and get rid of the points and just take the money line there. And I looked at the difference in the amount of times I would have won had I just taken those couple extra points in my pocket instead of just looking at that plus money number and being like, I really like that plus 150, the big score. And just sometimes when you try to go for that big score, you leave money on the ground right in front of you. And when you can get plus 106 on the plus 1, I didn't see any reason to go and try to chase that money line. We talked about the minus 1.5 being one of the least profitable bets in baseball this year. Inversely, that means the plus 1.5 is one of the most profitable bets in baseball this year. So that plus 1, all you're doing is putting the plus 1.5 together with the money line. And I look at the Pirates, their bullpen. Obviously, they traded away the linchpin, the back end with David Bednar. And the 3 best arms that are left, Dennis Santana, Isaac Madsen, Carmen, not going to try to say his last name, all went yesterday. Santana threw over 22 pitches. This is a spot where they're going to have to all go back out there again if the Pirates are going to somehow win this game. And I talked about Skeens when the report first came out. They're going to limit him in the second half. And one thing I thought about was they're probably going to try to put him out there more at home for the longer starts because you have all those season ticket holders. You're the Pirates. There's not a lot to play for, a lot to cheer for. But one thing they definitely have is Paul Skeens, a guy that's leading the Cy Young race at this point in the season. And they got to find ways to encourage those season ticket holders to come back and pay again next year so that they can't trade him. They need this arm. They need to think long-term and short-term about how they can use him to the best success of their franchise. And so anytime he goes out there at home and doesn't have a great start, I don't see him staying out there very long. I talked about the 94 and 99 pitches. He trying to go back through his game logs. He doesn't throw that many pitches in back-to-back games very often. And we already talked about Singer. There's no lefties over there on the other side in Pittsburgh that I'm really that worried about. If you try to circle out one side for Skeens, I mean, he's got a whip under 1 to both sides of the plate. There's not a lot of ways to get to him, but the Cincinnati team has seen Skeens quite a few times in his career already. They're divisional matchups, and I think this is a spot where Cincinnati finds a way to get a run or 2 off Skeens in those first 4 or 5 innings that he's out there. I'd be surprised, very surprised to see Skeens come out for a 6th inning unless he's absolutely dominant today. And I look at the back end of that Reds bullpen. It's not the best names on paper, but I think there's a lot of serviceable arms out there, and they all had the day off yesterday. Pagans, Cintian, Graham Ashcraft, Scott Barlow, Brent Suter. I think that there's enough back there for Brady Singer to be able to hand off a good start to some bullpen arms and find a way to get this game home. I talked about the motivation of winning here. The Cincinnati Reds are very live for a playoff push right now. They're doing everything in their power to win every game they can. I also look at just the Paul Skeens effect. So yeah, it's tough for the batters on the other side, but you're a pitcher like Brady Singer, who's had a really phenomenal career, but he's very underrated as far as the public goes at looking at him. And sure, his numbers look a little worse on the road after that last really bad start versus a very lefty heavy lineup in the Washington Nationals. And Boston also has quite a few good lefties in that lineup. I think those two road starts give us value here with Singer. The +1 is important to me because maybe Pittsburgh does find a way to win this for Paul Skeens, but I don't think they win this by a run line kind of margin. I don't trust the Pirates bats to be able to do that. I trust the Cincinnati bullpen to be able to keep them off. You look at the implied total, like there's 7.5 or 7 juice to the under at -125. I bet you if you went to a book like maybe ESPN Bet, you could even find a 6.5. And that implies there's not going to be a lot of runs in this game. I think that +1.5 that's built into the +1 becomes very valuable at that point. I know Paul Skeens is really hard to fade. He's got amazing stuff. It's really hard to poke a hole in it, but you talk about him bouncing back. What if he doesn't? How did the Pirates win this game if he doesn't have an elite start where he goes out there, throws 6 innings pitched, gives up 0 earned runs? And there's no way in my mind that he sees a 7th inning. Like, I just don't think it would be irresponsible for their management to do. There's too much variabilities involved there with trying to find a way to back the Pirates and Skeens here. 3 starts in a row, going that many pitches, just doesn't make sense to me. That's not what you do when you're trying to worry about this arm for the long run. If Paul Skeens was on the last year of his contract in a Cy Young race, yeah, they'd just stick him out there for 115 pitches every time they could. But that's not the case. They need him for years to come. I just don't see the path to the Pirates winning this game by a lot. And if I simulate this game 1,000 times, I feel like the Reds probably win 450 of those games, and another 250 of those games they only lose by a run. And I think that just is a ton of value associated with that +1, especially at plus money.
Oh, that's a great breakdown. It's a great breakdown. Singer has looked spectacular these last 2 starts. I mean, that performance against the Braves was 10 strikeouts, 1 walk over 6 innings, 4 hits allowed. I mean, he's just back-to-back starts at home. I just don't know if he carries it over. You're absolutely right to be uncomfortable with the Pirates late in the game. Pirates bullpen 4.93 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, but that doesn't tell the story with this mass exodus. We watched Bednar yesterday, cash for the Yankees, bet for us. He threw 50 pitches. I don't think he quite got to 50, but I remember it was 41, 42, 43. I was panicking. I knew it was going to come because they brought him out with 5 outs left to get. But
he's a workhorse. I remember cashing both ends of a Pirates doubleheader last year that he saved both games. I was sitting there scratching my head like, should I get out of the second game? I'm already up. And he comes out there and walks out in the 9th and does the same exact thing again. And I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, he's a bulldog. Mr. Bouquet, TJ Spooner on the Cincinnati Reds. What is your plan of action?
Yeah, I bet this before the show. I'm on the Reds as well. Full game money line. Paul Skeens can throw 7 shutout innings, and I could still believe we win this bet. And maybe I should bet it live, but I'll take the Reds here. Full game, short and sweet, because you guys talked a lot about this game. So I'll let everyone marinate on you guys' thoughts. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm on the Reds money line. I just think no matter how well Paul Skeens pitches, I think Brady Singer can match. I think there'll be hype for Brady Singer's side of it to, kind of match the second best pitcher in baseball, 0 for 0. So yeah, Reds for me.
So tell me, Jose, what is your expectation of Brady Singer today? And do talk about what he's just done at home and if you think he's going to carry that over.
I'm expecting, good start. 6 innings, 1 to 2 earned runs, hopefully for my sake. I would love to say he goes shutout, but, it's kind of difficult. But I think the Pirates offense is bad enough for him to do so. I'll echo the home road splits for everyone here for Brady Singer. 3.36 at home in a very hitter-friendly ballpark compared to a 5.73 road ERA. So, yeah, I mean, is that a cause for concern? Sure. But just looking at his last few road starts, 7 earned runs in 2 1/3 against the Nationals. At Boston, 3 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 1 earned runs at St. Louis, 6 innings, 1 earned run at Detroit, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. They've honestly all been pretty good except for 2 like really bad blow-up starts, 7 innings, 7 earned runs and 2 starts at home or on the road, excuse me. So I think road ERA is probably a little inflated because of that, and I think he's probably a better pitcher than that. So
if the Pirates are minus 170 on the money line at Bet 365, Jose, what should they be first 5?
minus 190.
That is exactly what they are.
Yeah, I figure.
Spooner, did you think it should be more than 20 cents?
Yeah. I think generally when you have the pitching advantage, you do see a 10 to 15 cent difference in there. I think the public views this is like, if you're going to rate these guys out of 10, you got Paul Skeens, who is a 10, and Brady Singer in recent form. I mean, is he even a 5? I could see that being more than 25 cents at certain books. I don't look into that market a ton. I do use it to try to gauge how certain pitchers might be viewed by the books for that start. But I think 20 cents is still a good amount of respect to Skeens.
Well, we will roll on here. We will roll on. Now, let me just, before we leave this game, I want to back Skeens after getting hit in Colorado. Hasn't allowed a run in 24 innings at home. But there's a reason why I haven't bet it yet. I wanted to hear you guys out. I am concerned that Singer can carry over what he did at home here in this, pitching friendly ballpark in Pittsburgh. And I'm trying to figure it all out still. If I take I guess I'm probably better off taking a Reds team total under. Of course, it'd be a 1.5 for the first 5. Or do I expect the Pirates to get enough off of them here to? I still can't. I think that looking at this lineup that doesn't have the lefty bats in it, expecting Singer to pitch well here does make sense.
Brian Reynolds also has much better splits hitting from the other side of the plate. So like he's not as comfortable being a lefty. We talk about him being a switch. That was part of the factor going into it too. Like I'm really just worried about the one bat in O'Neal Cruz, and a veteran like Brady Singer, I really expect him to have the ability to pitch around the one bat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. Daniel Hernandez says, how do you guys not take the under after this breakdown? I'll tell you how. I still don't know what Brady Singer is going to do on the road, and I don't trust the Pirates bullpen. So I think that a live over would be somewhat appealing here, whether there's a Reds letdown. Let's get into our final spot on the board. Our guy, TJ, has moved on the Marlins first 5. He is not alone. He is not alone.
Minus a half money line.
He has moved on the first 5 money line.
God, what did you pay for that? Fuck.
Minus 140. And I have been doing the same thing. Now I used to have a minus 135 as a limit. I've changed that to minus 140 on first 5s. Part of the reason why I'm not already on the Pirates first 5 minus half is I have a negative ROI on first 5s minus a half, and I don't want to bet them anymore. I'm trying not to bet them anymore, and so that is, an issue for me. We also have Morgan Spooner on Marlins full game. They were both on variations of backing the Athletics. Now I know a lot of you guys are on the team total and you're looking for another run. I hope you guys get it. It's 4-0 right now, top of the 7th with 2 out. So let's roll best bet from BJ is the Marlins first 5 money line. Oh, he dropped first 5 minus a half. Okay, he says. Oh yeah, he dropped first 5 minus. Sorry. So
Yeah, he agrees with you.
I've done that as well. By the way, Kong is on the first 3 under 1.5 in Pittsburgh at plus 126. I get that. Now, Kong, I'll tell you, I still pay for the 2 at that because your 2 won't cost more than minus 118. And it's been extremely successful for me. And I pushed a ton of 2s. I completely understand why you want the score at 1.5. I'm just telling you what's been working for me. So let's get into this. Jose, you will hit lead off here. We're in Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's take a look at the weather here. We have 80 Fahrenheit, feels like 85, 5.4 miles per hour in, dies down at 4.5 miles per hour. Let's get into the ballpark pal expectation here. Sorry, the ballpark pal expectation of Truist Park plus 2% or minus 5% overall, plus 2% homers, minus 14% doubles and triples, and even singles. Deacon, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I know you're only looking after my best interests. We get to the line history here for Marlins Braves. Sorry, wrong. Well, we have on the money line, the Braves are at plus 113. They opened up at plus 102, now plus 112. So there's been a 10-cent move towards the Marlins from minus 112 to minus 122. There is a pitching advantage from Yuri Perez to Carlos Carrasco. So let's just take a look at what the first 5 is right now. We'll take a look at the book we used to play poker at, which I'm still working on getting us a game here. It is minus 150. It opened up at minus. Oh shit! Sorry, that's the wrong game. My bad. Here we go. Sorry. It is minus 157. It opened up at minus 140. Very interesting that when it opened up at minus 140, that it did move to minus 130 at 1:30 in the morning. That was a 20-cent move away from them, from minus 150 to minus 130 at 1:30 in the morning. Now it's at minus 157. We have 17 cents of movement, so there's nothing to worry about. When we get to the total here for this one, we have an. Sorry, move over here. We have an 8. It's minus 110 to the over. I do see some 8.5s. This opened up at 8.5. The first time it dropped to 8 was at 11:02 p.m. It went back to 8.5. Then it dropped to 8 again at 3:35 a.m. and it stayed there ever since. So we have a half-run move towards the under. What the hell do we do with Cookie Carrasco? What the hell do we do? Coin looking at that first 3 under 2.5. I just Cookie Carrasco has been a nemesis of mine. I just haven't been able to figure him out, and I've been kind of staying away from his games. 67% of the tickets are on the Marlins and 80% of the cash. 83% of the tickets are on the under and 94% of the cash. We saw Cookie Carrasco in his first start with the Braves. He looked very good. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. It was a 12-11 win at the Reds, but he had a quality start. Righties have been annihilating him this year. 299 with a 989 OPS. The righties in this lineup, Edwards is a switch. Xavier will hit from the right side. Then you have Ramirez batting 3rd, Otto Lopez batting 5th, and Dane Myers batting 8th. It would be fair to say that this is a perfect lineup or a great lineup for Cookie. Now, the lefties hit him with a 292 average. They just don't have nearly as much power. Markel is on the Marlins first 5 minus 1.5. Beavis is on Miami money line. Says Miami gonna eat. Drewski is on Miami money line. Yuri Perez 4-3, 2.70 ERA, 0.94 WHIP. He's been excellent. Coming off a 2-0 win at home versus the Yankees, 6 innings, didn't allow a run. He was very good. On the road, he's only allowed 10 earned runs over 6 starts, just 17 hits and 28 in the third. His splits are very, very good. Marlins versus righties last 30 days, they're smashing. 277, 818 OPS. Braves versus righties is 228, 708. This Marlins bullpen's been very good last 30 days. 3.02 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Braves bullpen 5.63 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. Here we go. Jose Bouquett, Marlins Braves, take it away.
Yeah, I battled with this game for a long time, and it was really like, am I going to just lay this juice with this first 5? I knew other people had better numbers. I saw 140 earlier, and I was like, God, I'm going to do it. And then I checked back, and it's like minus 150, minus 155. And I'm like, Jesus, I guess I should have laid it then. I'll be the asshole. I'll be late to the party, and I'll take the highest juice bet of my year so far, minus 155. Miami Marlins first 5 money line. I agree with you guys. It was kind of a weird fishy line to begin with, full game. Just having them favored, and that might be just my old brain of the Braves being dogs against the Marlins at home. Just like seeing that just like surprised me. But this first 5 line being so much different, so much larger than the full game line was the thing that was okay. I'll lay the juice. I'll eat it and or drink it, and I'll do the damn thing. So minus 155 for me.
Well, you certainly won't eat juice, but I almost said respect.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Now, I do very much respect leaving the first 5 minus a halves alone.
Yeah,
everybody can track their action, decide. Paul Villarreal, he's on that minus a half first 5. I used to bet a ton of them when I started doing this publicly, a ton of them.
Yeah.
And I thought that, the numbers will work themselves out. Well, they didn't. And I would like to cut them completely, even though I kind of want the Pirates first 5 minus half. And again, when Spooner brought to our attention what the records were for favorites on the run line, it doesn't mean you never bet them. I cashed the Mariners last night, and that, helped the day very much. But it means that you spend a lot of time deciding if you want it or not. Spooner, you took the full game instead of the first 5. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah. So I kind of went back and forth with this. It's important for me that the Marlins and Braves have a doubleheader coming up on Saturday. The Marlins got the win last night and had to use all their important bullpen arms. This Marlins bullpen has exceeded all my expectations for them on the season. Every arm that comes out there, I have a lot of faith in. I kind of questioned to myself, if this game becomes 1-1 at the end of 5, at the end of 6, and Yuri Perez leaves this game, do the Marlins bring out their best bullpen arms? Because with the doubleheader on deck, this is a team that has not given up on the season. Some of the moves at the deadline I kind of thought would set them back, but this team has their best record they've had all season right now. I think there's still a wild card berth possibility in there. You got a bunch of young guys that really have just a ton of positive energy, positive motivation going. How good has Jacob Marcy been this season? Every time I watch him hit, he looks amazing. I don't understand how he hasn't been at the major league level the entire season. This Marlins team on the road is a top 10 in lineup in baseball in the full season, 9th in WRC plus, going up against Cookie Carrasco, who, as you touched upon, hasn't given up a ton of his power to lefties, but lefties are still definitely getting to him. He's got a 1.48 whip and a 4.93 xFIP to those lefties, 1.6 whip to righties, 4.17 xFIP to righties. I just think it's a spot where this Miami lineup gives Carlos Carrasco a hard time. I don't know if it's the first time through the order, if it's the second time through the order. This is just Cookie's second start here for the Atlanta Braves. I don't think he's necessarily comfortable pitching at home. A lot of times I like the home pitcher, but when this is your first start, it's not like you're really at home or anything. And Yuri Perez, I haven't said a bad thing about him all season. I was excited to watch him pitch his first start back. I backed him then. I really think this kid, you battle back from injury. It's so hard. It's a tough thing. Some guys get an elbow injury like that and they never come back the same. And somebody as highly touted as Yuri Perez with that disgusting fastball, it was really sad to see him get hurt, and spent multiple years rehabbing with that. Got to rehab with Sandy Alcantara, who I have a really high opinion of. And I think he just knows a lot about pitching that you're able to kind of tutelage pass on to a younger guy. And I think that was really beneficial for Yuri Perez. And I look at the lineup that he's going to be facing today with the Atlanta Braves. I talk about Miami having good energy. Atlanta is the exact opposite. This team feels like they've really given up on the season. I don't see their bats necessarily getting to Yuri Perez early. If they do, it's maybe the second, third time through the order kind of thing. But you look at Profar, Olsen, Murphy, those are the only 3 bats in this Atlanta team that I really thought would be in this lineup at the beginning of the season at this point. The rest of these guys, we're looking at Nick Allen, Nacho Alvarez, Eli White. I mean, there's a lot of names in here that are even worse hitters than what you see at the bottom of the Miami lineup. And I think you put some big holes in this lineup. It allows Yuri Perez to pitch around the bats he is worried about. And I just think there's a spot where he comes out, dominates for 6 innings and passes it along to the bullpen with a lead. I battled back and forth with that first five. I don't like taking first fives. Part of that's just my own bias there, but I think this is a spot where Miami really wants to continue winning. I fully believe they'll put every bullpen piece out there, even with that doubleheader coming up in a couple days. I don't see any way that I can back Carlos Carrasco. Sure, you can say the Miami lineup is not necessarily has the best righties or anything to get to him, but there's no quit in that lineup. They don't allow easy at bats. They foul off a ton of pitches. I think they're going to make Cookie work, and I think we'll see a lot of innings from this Braves bullpen that I have less faith in the Miami bullpen. And so any concerns I do have with Miami's side, it just kind of washes out when I take in the Atlanta side of it. So this Miami full game, -118. Got a text from Kyle in the middle of the night. I saw it when I first woke up, and he said, Miami flipped Atlanta's favorites now. And I went immediately, looked at the line, and I was like, what is he talking about? It's not. So I went and looked at the line history, and this line opened up at circa -116 for the Marlins. At 1:30 in the morning, this got up to +104 for the Marlins, and Atlanta was -116. And it's slowly come back. It went to a -116, a -120, and now sitting at -124 over there at circa. That U-shaped movement is something I've talked about a few times this season. I think it's a head fake by some of the sharper bettors trying to manipulate the line so they can get more money on a bigger bet that they're going to place in a couple hours. And I think those bigger bets wanted to be placed on the Miami side. I like to see that U-shape moving coming back in my favor. I think it's a good sign.
It was a wild move. There's no doubt about the move. We talked about, I mean, it even moved on the first 5 line, 20 cents at that point. But yeah, it was a wild move. 7:47, Marlins are -112. Then you go to 1:35 p.m. or sorry, 1:35 a.m. and the Marlins are +109. And there are different explanations for it. And one is exactly what you're talking about, where you're setting, I mean, it's an old school trick that can get you in trouble, but moving the line slightly so that you can get your bigger bet. Now you can't bet at the same book, but so you can get bigger bets in on the other side. I tell you, I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do because I don't want the first 5 -1/2. I don't have a problem with the price of the Marlins here. You guys just cashed your over 4.5. Thank God. Oh God. So it's 5-0 now.
Yay.
You guys just cashed those of you guys on the team total over 4.5. I think it might be Marlins first 5 money line parlayed with the Pirates first 5 money line. Get a +150 spot, but I don't know if that's where I close up shop. I'm still working on it. The Cookie Carrasco situation is bothersome. I just don't know what we're going to get from him. I do want Skeens today. And so I've got work to do here on the card. Spooner, spectacular work. Please review your action, my friend. And I will post your X handle in the chat. Please support our friend Spooner, doing great work here on Pub Sports Radio. Of course, he co-hosts Walk Off Wagers with Wine Time Sports. Also doing great stuff over on the Sauce Network. Spooner, my man, please review your action.
Yep, I got 3 wagers today at -124 with the Sacramento Athletics. That's in the top of the 8th right now, 5-0, as you guys just touched on. Jacob Lopez, 7 innings pitched, just 3 earned runs, no walks. Really love to see it. He's one of my favorite younger pitchers to back, another guy that came back from Tommy John. Then I got the Reds +106 and the Marlins -115. Pretty excited about today's card. I think we're going to have some good baseball games to watch, even on such a short card. As always, you can find me Sunday, as you talked about, and over there on the Sauce Network. I'll be here every Thursday. Good luck today, everybody. Enjoy it. Get that cash.
There he is, Morgan Spooner. Yes, Tommy, we talked about the price difference. Now, you're talking about it from the Braves side of things, which is absolutely fair. We were talking about it from the Marlins side of things, the price difference for Yuri first 5. and it is a bit of a surprise because of how bad the Braves bullpen is being. It's all based on the fact that there's a doubleheader for the Marlins tomorrow. So it's a very, very interesting. What do you make of it? You think that it's all based on the fact that the Marlins will try to save arms for tomorrow, Jose?
Yeah, and I just don't think some of those guys that win yesterday will be available. 20-plus pitches is a lot, so some will pitch today, some won't. I'm not too worried about the doubleheader today, but I just didn't expect all those guys that went yesterday to go today.
And Dougie Wise just moved on the Braves team total over 3.5. Jose Bouquett, please review your action, my friend.
Yeah, Reds money line full game plus 151, and Miami Marlins first 5 money line minus 155 there. So it's not a bet I'm proud of. It won't be a bet I'm proud of tweeting, but it is made, and it should be an interesting game to say the least.
A very, very interesting game here. I don't have the announced doubleheader tomorrow. Sorry, let me just go over that again. Yeah, I don't have a doubleheader tomorrow. Oh, is it Saturday?
I don't know. I don't look.
Saturday. Saturday's the doubleheader.
Good note. But yeah, I just figured that not all those guys were going to go either way. So, but good luck, everyone in the chat. We still have another sport to talk about here today because we're rifling through all the major sports. So can't wait for that sweet, sweet sport equinox when we talk about all the major sports. Those are beautiful days. But good luck, everyone. It's time to talk about the dub.
It is time to talk about the WNBA. Let's get after it. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Pub Sports Radio. Let's roll here. Please welcome from South Jersey. We got our guy, Start the Locker Room Talk podcast, UFC Vegas 109 this weekend. But right now, we're talking WNBA. Please welcome our friend from South Jersey, Mr. Billy Brisbane, to the show. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you?
Man, Jim, one of those fucking days. ADP Cincinnati tipped off today, and I had a bet on a 19-year-old girl and a fucking 18-year-old boy in a 2-leg parlay. So that's how my morning's been going, fucking sweating and questioning life decisions, but making some cash, trying to stack it fast. It's a beautiful day on the slate. Just a nice little bout of baseball games, some WNBA to close out the night, and NFL preseason. I got some juicy insight for one of those NFL preseason games for the end of the show.
Well, we've capped them already, so we will hear your breakdowns with with great interest for the NFL games. Now, the Mboko victory was a huge cash score from my brother yesterday, and it was I've watched a handful of tennis matches in my life, but that was the greatest one I've ever watched before. I mean, that was just the idea that she would break back down 6-5 in that third set. I could not believe my eyes. I just couldn't.
I would say, for being a tennis savant for a little bit, Rabalenka's fucking fold. She's the girl that gets ahead early and she looks really good. But any type of pressure put on her, she folds. Has talked a lot about her mental health problems.
Well, Mboko is now a huge part of the sports lexicon in this country. I know that she was born in Charlotte.
She's Canadian.
Yeah, she moved when she was very, very young, but she wasn't. I wish she was born in Toronto. She's from Burlington, man. She's like 40 minutes away from here, 35 minutes away from here. It was that was as exciting as I've ever seen a tennis match. Losing the first set 6-1. Man, does she have heart and character? And I was I'm a huge fan. Let's leave it at that. Huge fan of her. Can't wait to keep watching her shine. Big game, a big match tonight in the finals. But now she's set. Now she gets into the biggest events. Now she can bring her parents along to travel with her and all that good stuff. Let's bring on our next guest. You guys were very, very good on yesterday's show. You both cashed the under in the WNBA game. The team total under also cashed. I know that you were deciding between the two of them. The only thing that didn't cash was the Valkyries' first half. It was very excellent work. And let's bring on the other half of the duo that delivered the goods. Please welcome our friend, star the Stacks play today, Mr. Justin Mcelvy.
Stacks.
Let's roll. Stacks, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. How you, Jimmy, Briz?
Pumped up, man. I'm excited about this multi-sport card this evening. Let's get to work, fellas. We start at 8 p.m. Eastern this evening. We have 3 games on the WNBA slate. We have the Atlanta Dream, 18-11, 8-7 on the road at the Chicago Sky, 8-21, 5-10 at home. The Sky's 78-64 game win at home versus Washington, that should have been bet. It should have been bet because we've talked with the Brittany Sykes trade happened. Jose gave us the information while we were on the air. We know that these teams do not step up when they lose a player. It was a spot that should have been attacked by us. And I was beating myself. Now I know I wasn't on the other side, but I was beating myself up for not moving on it. This guy played very well, shot 54% from the field. You know, it's easy to shoot well from the field when you don't have Angel Reese out there. But they shot very, very well. Ariel Atkins was such a huge addition. We hadn't seen her for a while. She went 7 of 10 from the field, 15 points, 5 assists. It was enormously important to have her. Mostly because Kia Nurse didn't have to play 35 minutes. And we know that she's not really capable of doing that. And so she sat on the bench for most of the game. She played 17 minutes. And that clearly helped. But they still shot 4 of 15 from 3. You know, Cardoso went 8 of 12 from the field. Elizabeth Williams went 7 of 11 from field. I certainly don't trust this guy, but they should have been backed 2 days ago. And I hate that I didn't get there. The Atlanta Dream also just beat the Mystics, but they have been off since the 3rd. So they played last on Sunday night, winners of 3 straight games. Now heading to Chicago. The Sky have played 3 straight games at home. They're, in a really nice spot, but they leave tomorrow and fly to Indiana. They play the Fever on Saturday. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one and the cash flow. I've not moved on any spots here on this WNBA card. So let's take a look at what we are dealing with. Give me 1 second to get over to WNBA, and here we go. The Atlanta Dream right now are double-digit favorites. They're sitting at minus 11, at minus 110. They opened up at minus 8. They got up to 8.5 at 10:52 p.m. last night. The interesting part of this was a 7.5 this morning. A 7.5 at 7:30 this morning. Moved back to 8 and then back to 7.5. This was a 7.5 until 8 this morning. And now we've had this monstrous move towards the Atlanta Dream. I'm not sure if they should be this big of a favorite. This total here is a 160.5. It's minus 115 to the over. It opened up at 159. It stayed at 159 for a long time, dropped down to 158. This move towards the over has happened this afternoon. It has dropped a point, though. It dropped a point about 30 minutes ago back to 160.5. It was at 161.5. We take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 55% of the tickets on Chicago and 63% of the cash. Well, it's alarming that the line would move this fast and to Atlanta. 77% tickets on the under, 80% of cash on the under. Billy Brisbane, Dream Sky, take it away.
Yeah, this line movement makes no sense. 30 to 40 minutes ago after the shoot around, Ryan Howard ruled out. Brittany Griner neck ruled out for this one. And people are just blindly betting the Dream here in this spot. I just feel like it's one of those type of spots where I feel like Atlanta's just going to slow walk through this game here. They might win this game by margin, but I don't think this game goes over. I think this is going to be a sluggish type of game. If you look at the way that Atlanta plays on the road, a lot of their road games have gone under. So I'm kind of looking at the under for this one. The Sky have combined for 150 points or less in each of their 3 games since the All-Star break, failing to clear 70 points in just 3 out of 7 of those games. They have a really bad defense, but the pace of play for this one might just alter their defense here. There's a couple of games on this slate where we're featuring some of the bottom half of the team, half of the WNBA in defensive ratings, but I just don't get it. No Brittany Grinder, no Ryan Howard. I love Tiana Powell when she played at South Carolina a couple months ago, but like she's not the needle mover for me. Naz Hillman has looked really good in replacement of Brittany Grinder. She's in like the contention for 6th Man of the Year category for that award for the WNBA. So maybe the people are liking Naz Hillman and company, but this is an under, stay away, do not bet. Don't even throw the Dream in a fucking chalk parlay. That's coming from me. Don't even throw them in a chalk parlay. You might get burnt.
Are you moving on the Sky then officially at +11?
You couldn't pay me to bet this game.
You could pay me to bet this game. In fact, I'll just do it on my own volition. Justin, take it away. Atlanta, Chicago.
I like a little bit of controversy. I guess me and Brizzy can't always get along, but I'm on the opposite side. As far as the side, Stacks play today, or as far as the total. Stacks play today, number 2. I got over 159.5. I got that at -110 when I posted it this morning. I actually bet it twice. I bet it yesterday at 158, and I didn't post it when I did the video. So I bet it again this morning when I made it at Stacks. But Brizzy said the trends as far as the Dream on the road. I don't have the exact numbers, but I could dig them up because they was in the man cave, and anyone that knows, all my notes was lost in the man cave with the spider, and I moved out the man cave. So, but what I do know is Dream on the road, this is where I want them. This is where I bet them. Dream on the road, I always take their over, whether it's a back-to-back, whether it's the first back-to-back, or whether we got the days off rest advantage. Beat them girls, my fault. Beat these girls last time by like 30 or 40. It was like 80-something to 49. I expect the Chicago Sky to fight back, give it a little bit more pushback. I looked at the Dream team total at first, and when I seen it was like 83 or 84.5, but I think the Sky's going to contribute. I thought Ariel was going to play, but it doesn't look like she's going to, but I still like this total. Actually, I love this total. Stacks play today, number 2, over 159.5.
No, Ariel was at shoot-around.
Ariel's probably going to play.
So
I love it even more. I loved it without her, but I love it even more. But when this line jumped up, I didn't understand why it would jump up from – I seen opening, and I'm not that my opening was accurate, but I seen opening at 7.5. Then yesterday it was at 10. And this morning it was at 8.5. Now it's at 10.5. I just assumed Ariel wasn't going to play. So, but if she's in there,
more of the Angel Reese being out of the game.
So that's it. People thought Angel Reese was going to play.
About to say, but I never expected Angel Reese to play.
Neither did I. But that has to be it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese got ruled out for like I think a couple of weeks. Like I don't think she's going to be in the lineup for a while. If you look at Atlanta's lineup tonight, Alicia Gray, Jordan Canada, Tiana Powell, Naz Hillman, Brianna Jones. That's laying 11 points in the WNBA. Like I'm good, man.
I'm not on the side, but I think with BG not playing, that's going to open up a little bit more for more scoring from the Sky. That's another reason that leaned me towards the.
This 1 minute ago just moved to 11.5.
I just don't get like who I don't know. People are out here laying the chalk on the Atlanta Dream, taking the points with the Connecticut Sun, and then you're getting 2A action in the last game. So it's like, fuck the WNBA market. I usually disagree with those motherfuckers anyway. And they ain't like, WNBA market's very fragile. Like, if you ask these people that are really betting a lot of money on these games, ask them to name 10 players in the league, they probably couldn't tell you shit. They're probably just betting off of a model.
Well, the good thing is when I cap the games, everybody's asleep anyway. And the only time I hear the market is when I watch Pub Sports. So, like, when I'm capping a game, I don't look to check any of that.
No, it's noticeable I saw this bitch open up at like 7.5 and go up to 11. I'm like, all right, I get Angel Reese's out, but we're not going to wait for the Atlanta Dream injury news report because Tiana Paopao isn't the original starter that is usually in the lineup. Maya Caldwell has replaced her in the lineup, and she's more of a defensive type of guard, and she's out of the lineup too. Like they're just, I don't know. It feels like Atlanta's like resting players in this game. For what reason, I have no idea. But like, it's just
because they play tomorrow, right?
No, I think they play Sunday against Phoenix. Is their next game on?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they don't play tomorrow. Why are they?
This is one of the weirdest games ever from the aspect of like, why are they resting so many players? I get it. The game, I think it was the game right before the break. They played at Chicago, and Atlanta beat them 86-49, and that was without Ariel Atkins and Angel Reese. So I think that's really what people are looking at. And then the other two meetings this year, Atlanta has won 93-80, covered a 13-point line. And then their first meeting this year, they fucking smoked them 88-70. So in reality, if you just looked at the head-to-head meetings without knowing the situations, Atlanta has smoked them by this number.
I can't lay that many. I wouldn't even was going to lay the 7.5. I like the total all along. I've never been off of it. I hear a lot of people liking the under. I don't understand it.
Two wide stacks, and then I woke up today and saw 11. I was like, all right, maybe I shouldn't bet on this game.
Yeah, like when I woke up and seen 8.5, I'm like, I don't know. I was confused. And then it jumped back up, then it went down, and I'm like, it can't be about Angel, because when I capped the game, I never even thought about Angel. I just automatically capped the game like she's not going to be here. And I did cap the game expecting Ariel, so the spread jumping, but the total not spiking like that up and down. It's fluctuating. Like when I first bet it, I got 158 yesterday when I did the video on this game. I got 158.5, so it's ticking up a little bit, but usually when it ticks up, it doesn't work in my favor. But this is only like 3 points, so as long as it ain't like 8, I think I'm on the right side.
Can't you see the final score of this game being like 76-62, and everybody's just like, all right, why did I even invest time capping this game?
I mean, I can't see that when I got over 159. That don't add up to me off of quick public math.
I just don't see where the points are coming from this guy. Like, I've been waiting for this guy to put up points all season. Shit, I took them last I think it was 729 against Washington. That was their highest offensive performance outside of the All-Star break. They lost 86-103. It's just like I'm done putting money on this guy here.
I see Dream getting at least 85-88.
That's not the concern about the over. The over is what are you getting from the sky? Because if they're blowing out the sky by like 20 plus points at halftime, like they're definitely not.
I'm gonna need 70 plus from the sky.
Why? I have a question for you guys. Why have the Dream being able to handle the Brittany Griner being out so spectacularly? I mean,
Naz Hillman is in the 6th man of the year contention. She's been fucking wrecking off the bench.
99 points and 95 points in their 2 games without Griner.
I mean, if you ask me, respectfully, I don't think BG like that.
I think BG's like that. It's just the offensive scheme that they have for the Atlanta Dream. They have a college coach, and the college coach that they have, he had consistently in not the WNBA, in the women's college basketball, they had one of the highest pace offenses, most 3-point attempt type of teams. It was very high octane offense, and he's tried to bring that over to the Atlanta Dream. But the actual personnel on the roster of having Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones hasn't all translated. You see the 3-point attempts going up for the Dream, but Naz Hillman does fit the scheme a little bit better, as she's more of a stretch 4, can swing it out a little bit, rather than BG and Brianna Jones both clogging up the paint, and you just have a bunch of perimeter shooters just jacking up threes. The Atlanta Dream could be a really good team, but I don't think they're getting the best out of Brittany Griner because we just saw Brittany Griner play for the Mercury last year, and she just stood on the post and wrecked games.
My dream is like that.
I want the dream to be like that. The dream is my betting favorite teams historically throughout the years in the WNBA. I just feel like the public is starting to become a little bit hip to it, and they're starting to just be way overvalued.
That's because they follow my vibe.
I mean, just looking at some of their recent numbers of the points that they're laying, like it's usually anything of like 8.5 or more that they're laying. I feel like it's kind of a sketchy proposition. Shit, laying double digits in the WNBA is just sketchy in general.
Okay,
but you gotta look at that when we get off here. Dream on the road, we trended over. I don't know how the numbers, but I'm 100% sure on that.
Yeah, 10
only because it's just something that I've always bet.
Yeah, 10-5 towards the over/under of the season. I think I said that in reverse. The Atlanta Dream play more unders at home than they do on the road. But
yeah, on the road we trend over that. That's one of my. I try to stay away from the Dream spread that way. My heart don't hurt, so I bet them a lot. But I love them on the road. I'm pretty sure I gave them out on here before on the road over. And when I seen 158, I was like, damn, it made me second guess.
This is 10 to 12 points lower than any other total in the two games. Tells you everything you need to know. Like, this bitch probably does go under. I'm rooting for you, though, Stacks. I ain't got money on the other side. But
let me ask you guys one last question here. You take out Griner, 6'9", take her out. Now, you guys have explained, the paint is, I don't want to say wide open, without Griner out there, but the paint is now available, and the Dream are almost going for 100 points these last couple of games. Against the Mystics, you don't need to be big. You have two players in the Dream scooping up all the boards. They're 6'3" and 6'2", and they dominated the boards. Hillman got in 7 or 9. Sorry, let me get over here. And then, here we had Hillman go for 13 boards. And then the game before, Breonna Jones, 6'2", she has 5 boards, but the game before she gets like 9 boards. Here, Camila Cardosa is 6'7". Isn't this one of the games where you would want to have Brittany Griner in there?
I agree.
Isn't Camila Cardosa going to be able to, get what she wants? Isn't it a pretty simple game plan for this guy? You get it down low and you let that big ass go to work.
What's simple isn't always simple for teams that have bad coaches. Because how many times do we watch the Dallas Wings play? And if anybody of us over on the panel, you just put Paige Beckers in a bunch of pick and rolls and you probably start winning basketball games. Sometimes the obvious isn't always the obvious in the WNBA. And that's definitely one thing that I'm learning. Because Camila Cardosa has been smashing without Angel Reese in the lineup. They're just still getting smoked.
I seen I was gonna mention it, but I just don't I don't like, even though I'm not on the side, but Cardoso double is very, very interesting. Seems like she catches it all the time. It's just I'm not
7 straight double doubles and they're still getting smoked.
29 points and rebounds she had in the last game. Her point rebound total is 22.5. How does she not smash that?
She could smash and they still get smoked. I
wouldn't even need to bet them. I could just take that.
My thing is just with any
underrated. No, I was just saying Camila Cardoso is one of the best players I think is underrated. I think he smashed the double props. I think he hit the points and rebounds. I think you could even fucking bet Camila Cardoso 10 plus rebounds in Atlanta Dream to win it and probably get plus money.
Big shout out to my guy Jonathan Yim. Can't wait to rock with you, Johnny. Can't wait to have our huge day at Woodbine, man. Shout out to Jonathan Yim. $10 dono to bless our action. Well, why would they list the 22.5 when she just went for 29? I'm not sure. Now it is juice to the over, but I just don't get it. The double here for Cardosa is -110 to yes and -120 to no. Why the hell is that if she's hit 7 straight?
Think about that for me.
Now,
But
No, it's because they get blown out. Like any. Would you be shocked if the Atlanta Dream are up fucking 86 to fucking 60 or some shit like that, and Camila Cardoso just gets pulled out for a whole entire fourth quarter? Like anything is possible. We do this in the NBA. This is the one time I'll say this might be an NBA blowout situation.
Okay, well,
like any sport except for underdog NFL quarterbacks, I don't bet player props on double-digit spreads. And I do that in NFL just for the quarterback that's getting a double-digit spread, hoping, in garbage time when you're down 30, you'll start slaying the ball. But any other sport, I don't bet props. Just like Billy said, like, if this game gets ugly, she's going to be one of the first few to come sit down. Like, as soon as it gets out of hand, she's out of there. So 7 straight double-doubles, and then it's a cheap price. That would be my only concern about betting a double-double.
She has 7 straight double-doubles. That is 8th longest streak in WNBA history. To go through Camila Cardoso's stats in the last couple of games that she's played, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 16 points, 13 rebounds. And the Sky have only won one of those games.
Okay. Let's roll on. I'm interested in this guy, Camila Cardoso, but
she's the first player in WNBA history to have 9 double-doubles this season while only playing 25.7 minutes per game. So she's been smashing.
Are you close to this? Are you closer to the Sky, Jimmy, or more closer to Cardoso?
Both lines are confusing me right now, and so I need to sit with it. I can't bet either. If I'm certainly not going to bet the double-double. There's no chance I'm betting that. And that's just, you hit 7 straight and it's juiced to not happening. So I'm not going to bet that. But the over 22.5 points and rebounds, I expect to bet at this point. But I also think the Sky plus 11 should be bet. I'm watching this line very, very closely right now. I don't understand. When I don't understand something, I don't think I have an advantage.
If you're going to take the 22.5, I would take the 22.5 sooner rather than later. Bet365 is at 22.5. The rest of the market's at 23.5. Parks is as high as 23.5, minus 125. FanDuel is as low as minus 114 with a little bit of juice. This prop opened up at 23.5 points and rebounds, which was juiced towards the under minus 128, and it's just taking public steam towards the over with Bet365 not changing their line.
Okay.
I just wrote that down. If anything, I ain't gonna make it official now. I'm gonna look more into it in between these videos, but that because I'm not on the Dream side, so I'm eligible to bet Cardoso. I'm definitely, like you said, I'm not going to bet a double-double, but even if it goes to 23, if it's 23, like minus 105, like I'd rather have that. Like, how she don't? I mean, even in a blowout, she should get there. I mean, unless it's a blowout early and often, like
playing at home. It's on the road where you don't play. You're like at home. These people still bought tickets. You do something for them. But
yeah, 2 former South Carolina champions. Tiana Paopao is going to be in the starting lineup for the Atlanta Dream tonight. Her and Cardoso were teammates on that national championship team before Cardoso graduated, and I would imagine if there is one thing people are going to want to watch tonight, it's probably going to be the South Carolina alums on the court.
You just got to expect less than 3 quarters to cash this prop.
Yeah, I would not be licking my chops at like 19.5 points and rebounds going into the fourth quarter, like because eventually you have to, as a Chicago Sky franchise, start playing some of these younger players like Haley Van Lith, Michaela Onwera, wherever her name is, Elizabeth Williams, because with the expansion teams being added into the WNBA, they can only keep a certain amount of players. And last year, the Chicago Sky fucked up by letting Kenny Carter go. They went from being a team a game or two outside the playoff to being one of the worst teams in the WNBA. And I think they need to do better evaluation of like player development because like they're picking the right players, they're just not developing them correctly.
Yeah, because if the Dream is up 25 at halftime, you're only going to get like 5 minutes of third quarter ball to get it down to 15 before it goes to 32.
I don't like the minutes. The biggest thing that I look at for a player prop is minutes and shot attempts. I don't give a fuck if you're making them or missing them. As long as you're out there on the court and you're taking them, I'll take my chances with you.
Well, fellas, let's roll on. Let's roll on.
Play that. I'm gonna circle it, but probably get there. Want some rebounds.
Next up, and by the way, there's been a 2-cent move while we were talking towards Atlanta. So now the 11.5 you can get, not have to pay much for. But over at that offshore in Costa Rica that I think is very sharp, they moved it 5 cents towards Chicago. So we'll see where it moves. Connecticut Sun, LA Sparks next up. The two teams that are getting me paid. Now, the Connecticut Sun did not get me paid. Now, I got in live after that first quarter, so but still, the pregame bet did not cash. They tried, man. Got it down to 16, but I had the 14.5. Connecticut Sun 5-23, 1-12 on the road to the LA Sparks, 13-15-4-9 at home. Part of me thinks that the Sparks, because of their home record, because of their overall record, are going to continue to try hard and that there won't be letdown spots. And we know that doesn't really, that there's always going to be letdown spots. We know that, and maybe this is it. Let's set this one up here. The Sparks were our only winner. My only winner 2 days ago. And they've been just cashing for us. 100-91 victory at home over the Fever. And now the lowly Sun come to town. Both teams played on Tuesday. Connecticut lost 82-66. It was pretty ugly. They'd been playing better. They got blown out in the first quarter, and they kept fighting and kept trying. And here we go. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow. Line history-wise, this has moved towards Connecticut, which is what I had expected. This opened up at 11. I watched it move to 12 very early this morning. Now we have a 9.5. I expect a 10 to come here shortly, but there has been quite a bit of movement. From a total side of things here, we have a 175.5. It's minus 117 to the under. I know you guys have been cashing on Sparks overs nonstop. Here we go. Mr. Justin McKelvey, Connecticut Sun, LA Sparks.
I got two bets in this game, actually. I can't remember which ones I sent you, but the first one, then I'll give you the little breakdown. I got the Sun. I outlined the Sun down. I got plus 7.5, plus 138 for the Sun. One thing we do know, we don't want the Sparks on the road or at home laying anything. They just not blew out, but they beat the Indiana Fever the previous game. But ATS at home for the Sparks, that's not where you want to be. The Sun, they was balling up until the last game against the Mercury where they didn't cover ATS. That was their first game on the road. I like them in this spot. I like them to cover. I ain't gonna sprinkle the money line because Sparks is where it's at, but give me the Sun plus 7.5, plus 138. And best line you get, give me Tina Charles over her points and rebounds.
I will line shop for Tina Charles right now. Brizzy, are you moving on Sparks Sun?
Yeah, this is going to be a first leg of a 2-leg parlay for me. There's no secret that the Sparks have struggled at home this season, but it feels like it's only a matter of time for start picking up some wins on their home court. I was right there with you, had money on them against the Fever in that spot. They've been really good offensively, 5th in the WNBA in offensive rating and number 2 in offensive rating throughout their last 10 games. I mean, it's to the point where like you gotta start getting out of the habit of just blindly betting Sparks overs with Cameron Brink being back in the lineup. The Sparks are 19-8-1 towards the over this season. 7 of their last 8 games have gone over 175 points. It's very hard to look at this game on paper and look at the Suns having the worst defensive rating in the WNBA and not want to be on the Sparks in some type of way here in this spot, either team total over or the Sparks just in general. I think the biggest thing that we didn't talk about is the trade that just happened earlier today. J.C. Shelton got traded for Leah Edwards, former top 10 pick from UConn last season. She finally got traded and shipped off to Connecticut. And J.C. Shelton has played like one of the best bench players in the WNBA, hence why she was shipped off in the market and stuff like that. She's most noticeably known for having that rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Bria Hartley is also a game time decision. I don't think she's going to give it a go tonight. I think the Connecticut Sun are definitely live for a backdoor cover, but we're looking at the corpse of this roster, not the team that's been backdoor covering left and right these games. I like the Sparks here in this spot. I think the Sparks roll them, and I'm staying away from the total because I think the Sparks blow them out.
Interesting. So let me do a couple things here quickly, and then we'll get back to your official action, Brizzy. Justin, Tina Charles, do you want? I mean, the offshore that is not giving her points and rebounds, just points, rebounds, and assists. That's 25.5 at plus 103. 25.5 at plus 103. I'm looking at points and rebounds, and it's 23
that's
and a
what
half.
I want to assist.
Okay, so 23 and a half at minus 105.
I'll take that.
23 and a half points and rebounds for Tina Charles at minus 105. Sorry, let me get this here. Tina Charles. Okay, so then over 23 and a half points and rebounds, minus 105. And Brizzy, this is the first leg. Is this a money line parlay?
2-leg money line parlay to get you paid.
I like it, Rez. I'm going to be right with you here as soon as the show is over. I'll move on that. So it is the Sparks. This is the first leg of Brizzy's money line parlay. Okay. I don't think this game requires too much more. I'm concerned that it's a letdown spot for the Sparks. Let's just go over here everything kind of culminated. I mean, you could say in that Valkyries victory, but also in that first leg, taking out the Liberty 78-62, the first leg of the back-to-back. And when we look at the lineup that delivered here, JC Sheldon, I mean, she didn't do much in that game, went 0 for 5 from the field, but she played 27 minutes. So this was a lineup that was playing their high-level basketball. So you're saying JC Sheldon is not in this lineup? Who else?
JC Sheldon just got traded. Bria Hartley I think she's going to be out. It says game time decision, but I have her listed as out in daily fantasy projections. Bria Hartley and JC Sheldon are like two really good players. Lacan's been playing better on the court, but like, give me fucking Julia Elman over her.
Okay, yeah. This is a team that probably needs everybody. So I'm going to need more time on that. We have Justin moving on the Sun plus 7.5 at plus 138 alt line, and Tina Charles over 23.5 points and rebounds. Just my 2 cents in the house. Res Mob, Dougie Wise, Mally Mal, Sir Mackey, Just a Team Rock, AM. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Let's go on.
Agree with me though that they're not factoring any of these injuries of like, you just trade away one of the best bench players or one of the highest usage rated, I guess, bench players in the WNBA for a top 10 pick from last year. And your starting point guard is also going to be out. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I think people are just betting off of models and not really looking at like what's really happening in between the lines of these games. Like, how does this line go down and you're out to your top guards?
Well, I think that the issues that the Sparks had at home a line should be put through them.
The issues that the Sparks have are on defense, not on offense.
No, but I'm saying at home. They haven't been covering their 4-9 straight up. I think we should put a line through that because they're just a different team right now. We're seeing that. My thought process initially was that they're not going to have a letdown spot here because they know they're 2 games under 500 and 5 games under 500 at home. But I still was concerned about that. They just seem like a different basketball team right now. Maybe a blowout is possible here.
But my thing is, what's respectfully, what's keeping you off the spread though, Briz? I see you got it in a money line parlay. To me, I feel like that's used up without coming out and saying it. Like, I don't want the Sparks at this big of a favor at the crib.
Nah, what it really is like I could think one thing, but the numbers aren't gonna lie to me. And laying double digits in the WNBA is just like, bro, I just don't know what it is. Laying double digits in the WNBA in the last 2.5 seasons is just not profitable. Like, you got a better chance of just taking a favorite with something else or something like that, like mixing it up. Like the Liberty the other night, the 2-leg money line parlay that I had was fucking money, but that Liberty on the spread was sweaty as fuck. They should have covered the shit out of that game. But the WNBA is like backdoor cover nation. You see the bench players come in the last 3 minutes. It'd be players that should really be getting some tick out there, and then they start really running up the score. Last thing I want to be doing is yelling at Sonia Rivers on her TikTok live tonight because she had a backdoor cover on me.
I think the sun gonna make the Sparks sweat.
And on top of that, you really want to know biggest bet of the day today. You already know Ben Shelton ADP Toronto final. We made it. First fucking Masters 1000 finals for Ben Shelton on tour. He fucking made it this far. Took out a big American last night in Taylor Fritz. I hate Karen Khachanov. Tried to fade him yesterday. And biggest bet of the day today is going to be on Ben Shelton. Probably biggest bet of the week.
I love it. I love it.
You said Ben Shelton? Was that tennis?
Yeah.
Tennis. And I will say, though, just don't hop on in just because this is the championship now. He was plus 250.
I'm hopping in because you gave it out.
I'm just saying he was plus 250 the game before and then plus 140 last night. So it's like, you know how sports betting works. Like,
I ain't gonna
try to get in late with somebody and then you end up getting burned. But yeah,
I ain't gonna mess y'all up. How Jimmy can say that cool shit early to the funeral or early to the grave, late to the funeral, something. Yeah. I ain't gonna mess y'all up.
Late to the party, late to the party, early to the funeral.
Yeah, I ain't
throw it in a parlay, don't tell nobody.
Nah, because the gambling gods will know it'll mess y'all up. And then y'all be like, I know Stacks bet that shit.
They always know.
They know, so I'm gonna stay. I cross it out already.
Let's talk about our final spot on the board here. 10 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Fever 17-13, 8-7 on the road. Phoenix Mercury 18-11, 10-4 at home. We're at Phoenix Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Mercury have messed with me a little bit. It's been a great post, second half run, but still a ways to do to get back into the black. And the Mercury really haven't helped much. They're coming off beating up on the Connecticut Sun on Tuesday, 82-66.
Everybody froze but me, or my froze?
No, your money. We hear you loud and clear. We have the Fever's winning streak snapped on Tuesday with 191 loss, but they are still traveling on the road. So they opened at Dallas, then Seattle. Then they lose to the Sparks, and we were on the Sparks. It was important, and it was important. They finished their road trip here. I don't like betting teams on the last game of the road trip. I'm sure they're looking forward to go home. They head home tomorrow, and they have an easy game versus the Sky. I don't want to back them. Don't want to back the Fever. Of course, Caitlin Clark out. No timetable on the return. And then the Phoenix Mercury are a very healthy basketball team. So let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow and then hand it over while Brizzy hitting the lead off. We have this total at 173. It's minus 112 to the under. This opened up at 171.5. It's 173 right now. From a point spread scenario here, Phoenix is minus 3.5 at minus 112. They opened up offshore here last night at 9:14 at 4. But if you look at where they opened yesterday afternoon at 12:49 p.m., they opened up at 5, and they lasted there for 7 hours. It wasn't until 7:43 p.m. that they moved to the 4. Now they're at 3.5. That's a 1.5 move towards the Fever. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have, and I'm not sure if I said this in the Connecticut game. So 67% of tickets and 82% of cash on on the Connecticut Sun, which is continually making the Sparks more appealing. Then Indiana Phoenix, you have 50% of tickets on Indiana and 53% of the cash, 62% of tickets on the over, 54% cash on the under. It's interesting. Take it away for us here, Brizzy, Fever, Mercury.
Yes, Dax talked about this, I believe, one of the last times we talked about the Mercury. I mean, they've done a good job of being a dark horse for the WNBA title. And while that's the case, they have to stay healthy for that in order to happen. They got Satu back in the lineup in their last game, and that was pretty big for them. She led them in points. In their first matchup versus the Fever, this is the reason why I like the Fever tonight. In their first matchup versus the Fever couldn't stop Alyssa Thomas and Clea Copper, who combined for 54 points. The key here in this game is going to be Indiana Fever's advantage behind the arc. If they can get a higher three-point percentage number and more attempts than the Mercury, I think they outscore them here. They went 11 for 24 from three-point in that game. And that was with Kelchi Mitchell having a very down game, one of her lowest point totals of the whole entire season. And that seems unlikely to happen again. She's fourth in the league for points per game, coming off a 34-point game on Monday and a loss. The Mercury handle business when they play bad teams in the WNBA. They'll cover against the shitty teams in the WNBA all day. But whenever they get that little step up in competition, they show that they're still vulnerable, giving up 89 points in their last 4 games versus a team with a winning record. I like the Fever here tonight. I'm on the Fever to like parlay of the Los Angeles Sparks, Indiana Fever plus 201. Player prop wise, I do like Aaliyah Boston over 9.5 rebounds. She'd had 6 straight double doubles into her last game where she scored 15 points and got hooked at 9 rebounds.
Interesting, because in the NBA and the NHL, I don't like backing a team on the final game of their road trip unless it's been a poor road trip and they're trying to fix it with the last game. What did you get on Sparks Fever? Plus
201. I mean, this line opened up plus 6.5, and this came all the way down to plus 3.5. And
big move.
People are you can't look at an article today. You can't look at a Twitter post today that doesn't have the Phoenix Mercury money line or minus 3.5, 4.5 in it. And I just think that's I get the Indiana Fever lost their last game against the Sparks, but dude, that was like a fucking fantasy bonanza type of game of like they just got outscored in the long run. They showed a lot of resilience in that game. I think Indiana Fever have been a bet on team outside the break, and you should take them while they're at plus money. And any opportunity you can get the Indiana Fever at plus money in the second half of the season, you should take it.
Wouldn't mind. Well, let's hear from our guy Justin. I'm going to look up and see, because if all the articles have the Mercury, then I will not be on the Mercury. These articles, if you agree with them, if you agree with them, you have to look back and say, what have I done wrong? Because they don't put their records up there. They don't do shit. They're getting fucking $20 to throw a record, or sorry, to throw a fucking breakdown. Take it away, Justin, my man. Phoenix Mercury hosting the Indiana Fever.
Yeah, I'll start off by saying when I'm giving out as a prop, I'm not on the side or total in this game. If I had to pick a side, Billy just crushed that. I would be leaning towards the Mercury. It's the team that I bet. But then when you look at it, going back to last year, it's like 5 or 6 straight that the Fever done beat the Mercury. So at this point, you can't say it's revenge. It's type shit like they own them. So I don't want to bet on a team that seems you can't beat them in 5 or 6 straight going back to last year. But what I have noticed is Alyssa Thomas, like no matter what happens, whether they get blown out, whether it's close, they don't win. She always gets a lot of rebounds. She always gets a lot of points. They don't have no answer. They, meaning the Fever, don't have no answer for her. I looked at Kelchi Mitchell also over her points and her points in the assist. I looked at hers, but she hooks me a lot. So I'm on Alyssa Thomas over 23.5 points and rebounds minus 121. I want to get to the Mercury. I've been looking at it since I did the video. When I did the video, they was giving up 6. And I was saying on a video that 6 is too much for the Mercury to be giving up. But now it's 3.5. I feel like now they're talking my language, but you got Indiana coming off that loss to the Sparks. So, and then with Brizzy on the money line, I won't be on this side. Brizzy being on the Fever money line, that'll keep me off the Mercury. Anything.
And Brizzy's right. I just looked up 4 articles and they're all on the Mercury.
Oh, that was easy.
articles, they're giving out like 6.5, 5.5, 4. And it's just like, all right, this line just keeps on dropping. If you look at the matchups of these two teams, the biggest red flag about the Phoenix Mercury, we will forever say this, for an Alyssa Thomas basketball team, is the guard depth. Like, they do not have guards on this team to be throwing out at Kelsey Mitchell, fucking Ari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham. And if Ari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham are going to put the ball in the back of the basket at an extreme rate, I'm going to start putting my money on the Fever. I remember last year in the WNBA, I had like a up and down season, and I blindly backed the Fever for the whole entire month of the second half month of July and the whole entire month of August going into the playoffs. And my fucking WNBA ROI went up tremendously. I don't know why I went away from that. They've just came off of a 5-game win streak. Like, there is going to be a whole lot of opportunities that you're going to be getting the Indiana Fever at plus money before Caitlin Clark comes back. And I don't think Caitlin Clark really matters that much if they just played the best basketball stretch of the year without her on the court. I just don't think that factors into my cap anymore. And I feel like that's factored into this betting line.
It's well done, fellas. Great breakdown of the 3 games. In review, we have Stacks on the over 159.5 in Dream Sky. He's on the Sun plus 7.5, alt line and plus 138. Tina Charles over 23.5 points and rebounds minus 105. And Alyssa Thomas over 23.5 points and rebounds and minus 121. We have Brizzy on a Sparks Fever money line parlay at plus 201. And all my interest in the Mercury went away immediately. Thank you for letting me know that every single article was on the Phoenix Mercury. Every single article with no records of how they do, of course. No records of how they do. Excellent work, fellas. Justin, my man, you are off to rock with our friends Ramon Scott and Ron Crawford. Go get that cash. That's at 4 p.m. They shoot it, but you can catch that video later tonight over at Tony's Picks. Thank you for making time for us, Justin, my man. I love capping with you. I'm going to pop Justin's X handle in the chat. Please support our friend Justin. He puts so much time and work and energy, and he doesn't ask for anything in return. As selfless as they come, please support our guy. I'm going to pop his X handle here in the chat. Justin, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Thanks for having me. Love getting on here with Briz. Seems like he saves me money. That's been going. That's the play of the day. I ain't even gonna play it, but he kept me off the Mercury. So I love being on here with Briz. I appreciate that because I probably would have been on him.
You know, the Mercury are my favorite team in the WNBA. It hurt my soul to bet against them last night, but
yeah, I scratched them off. They was on my pretty much. I'm gonna bet them, and then you didn't. Maybe I didn't scratch them all the way out.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
Again, I mean, if you agree with the article, you have to look back and say, what have I done wrong?
Right. Yeah. Like, why am I on that side?
I remember last year, Jimmy taught me about that shit. We're capping the Olympics, like it was like the FIBA Cup or some shit like that. And like Jimmy pulled up like 4 or 5 articles that were like all like Belgium team total, or it was like Belgium in the over and the spread, and they got fucking smoked in that game. And I was like, yeah, no, these articles, the people that write these articles, they ain't writing articles for you to get information. They're writing articles to put money in their pocket to give you enough information to put out on the internet.
And they won't even like Jimmy said, if the Fever win this game, they ain't gonna put their article out tomorrow whenever they jump on a game and be like, yeah, we got embarrassed last night. My record's now. They're not gonna do that. I'm the only one keep putting my embarrassing record out. Got people telling me why don't I start over. You know how disrespectful that is? Telling me to start over? Never mind. I
think your record should be really highlighted on average line and the runs that you've been on, because some of the runs that you've been on have been fucking ridiculous.
Also, the average line is key because he puts out plus spots nonstop, and you know people just see the win-loss record. But
in the past 3 weeks, I was told at least 4 times, everybody else do it. Why don't you just start your record over? And to me, that's like a spit in my face. Like, that's blatant disrespect to me. And it's motivation, though. Yeah. I would never start over. Not judging anybody who does, but y'all gonna see from my ups and my downs and climb my way back out. So I ain't never changing my record.
We believe in you, my friend. We believe in you enormously, and that's why we want to rock with you as much as possible. Our guy Justin McCelvy in the house. Go crush it alongside our friends Ramon and Ron.
Oh, real quick, nothing serious. If y'all give little prayers to Ron Crawford for his family going through a little something. Just wanted to throw that out there. He gonna miss the 2-3 zone, so
shit.
Just wanted to get that out there.
Shit. I'll okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll reach out to him. All right, respect. All right.
Other than that, thanks for having me.
Much love, Justin. Go get that cash. My man, there he is, Mr. Justin McCelvy. Brizzy, tell us a little bit about UFC 109 popping off here Saturday for our live stream.
Yes, we have a big UFC 109 card this weekend, a card that's filled with a lot of favorites. So you got to mix and match. Make sure you guys check out the Locker Room Talk podcast and the live stream on Saturdays. And a quick preview for next week's card, we have Millie Mills in the locker room with Philadelphia's finest Uzbekistanian Nursultan Ruziboev, who fights Brian Battle next week. So you guys make sure you check it out on the channel. If you guys want to tail some action tonight, we got some tennis action tonight. We got Ben Shelton in the finals. But the one game that I really wanted to talk to you about was the Colts and Ravens, because I had the pleasure of watching Devin Leary's whole entire high school career, the third-string quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He's from South Jersey. He played at Timber Creek. Williamstown and Timber Creek were like big rivals head-to-head. I don't think that kid's NFL viable, man. Yeah, he used to wreck up at NC State and high school and stuff like that. Watching him play last year, I don't think he's NFL viable. They also have Cooper Rush playing the whole entire first half of that game. That game screams like a dead fucking under. When's the last time you seen Harborough be a plus 6.5 point underdog in a preseason football game? You might have one of the best preseason football records of all time. I think that tells you everything you need to know. The Ravens are more worried about the end goal here than right about right now. Their goal tonight is to figure out what they're going to do with their third-string quarterback situation. For the Colts, they're trying to get an idea of what they're going to do for the season. Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones will be playing the whole entire first half. I think the Colts rout them in this spot, and I think the game goes way under. I'm not high on the Ravens preseason team just in general. I mean, their team total tonight is 15, which is unlikely they're scored 2 touchdowns in this game. And if they don't score 2 touchdowns in this game, I don't think they're covering their spread, and I don't think this game's going over. I think this is the best preseason spot of the whole entire card this weekend, because people think about the Baltimore Ravens and the preseason teams of the past. This is not the same Baltimore Ravens team and the same exact preseason team from the past. Cooper Rush fucking sucks. And so I hate to say it because I love Devin Leary, South Jersey man. I'm paying the fuck out of Devin Leary, and he put a lot of money in my pocket last year.
So how are you betting it?
Under 37.5, and going to be taking the Colts on the minus 6.5 on the spread. More money on the under than the spread. 6.5 in any fucking preseason football game is a little bit of a gesture, of a little bit chalky, but I really think the Ravens are going to get smoked in this game. This is like handicap 101 by its finest, of like using what the public knows against them. And people know that the Ravens are a really good preseason team. This has to be the biggest line that the Ravens had in a preseason football game in the last 2.5 seasons.
Yes, without question. Without question. I do fear late in the game when
that man is trash, Jim. I've seen this kid play in person for 4 years. He is not – I'm telling you, he's getting cut by the end of the season. This might be the last time you get a chance to fade him.
Yeah, Jason Bean, though, across the way. I mean, it just – I get it, though. I get it. You're certainly in business in the first half, and then, you know, hopefully it's more Riley Leonard than Jason Bean. But great stuff. Brizzy, my man, congratulations on the Shelton victory. Go get that cash. I popped our guy Brizzy's X handle in the chat. Please go and support it if you're not already. Brizzy, thank you so much for your time, my man. Any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
Yeah, make sure you trade the waters very carefully. NFL, NCAA is right around the corner. Don't fuck up that bankroll before the real show starts. And we're only a couple of weeks away from that. So get those bankrolls nice and fat. Tail some of these plays that we gave out on the show today. And get ready for a wild ride going into September.
Respect, Brizzy, my man. Yes, Gorky, I can count Hamilton money line if you would like that for your record here on the show, my friend. I do did just for all transparency reading. I didn't like when you say records don't matter. If you would prefer to watch shows where there's no accountability whatsoever, you have a plethora of shows in this industry. The first thing that we were told when I was down in Costa Rica was not to put our record out. We fought against that, Peter and I, because we wanted accountability in a fraudulent industry. I rail upon the articles because there's no accountability whatsoever. There's no record. There's no nothing. You just asked me to count if I want Hamilton money lines. So obviously you do care about record. So let's just watch how we say things, because accountability is the most important thing here on this show. It really is. It's us working as a team and honestly trying to beat the books. Honestly, transparently trying to beat the books and not feed bullshit when this industry is filled with such bullshit. So much bullshit everywhere you look. I was blown away at this industry. I mean, I understand how it all got started, right? This industry got started with a 1-800 phone number. If you called the 1-800 phone number, they give half the people to one side and half the other. Half of the people are going to come back and pay for another pick. If you're on the half that loses, you get a free pick. Half of those people will then get a winner and want to pay for another winner. The other, now a quarter of the people will be gone because they were given 2 straight losers, but that's a lot of money coming in. So I understand that it's always been based on fraudulence, but I couldn't believe my eyes when I was down in Costa Rica and everybody wanted to be the best tout they could be and not the best gambler they could be. I was beside myself. I remember the first few weeks I was like, are you, this is the industry? And I guess, you said you explained what it meant and what you mean. Let's just watch that stuff just because, we don't ask you for anything here on the show. We're just trying to cap together and win together, beat the books together. And when we don't, we show you that we're not, unlike every other spot, and everything's one unit here as well. I find when every bet is 5 units and, you're 20-16 and you're up 20 units on the season. I mean, it's misleading. There's so much in this industry that's misleading, and we try to, be a beacon here because of all this bullshit. I don't need to get into it. I'm sorry to get into it now, but that the records don't matter caught me, and it's just not what we do here. So tomorrow, finally, we have our big announcement for the members, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it, and I can't wait to talk about it. And we have big things for our gold members and more coming, so I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. For us here, we have big things coming on. First off, we're going to show you a sneak peek at our brand new show. It's on Pub Culture TV, and it's look good, smell good. From our guy Von Polo, who's a dear friend, and I love seeing him rocking here. A great capper, and we have our new show on Pub Culture TV. We also have our card show. Our card show is this weekend. Now, Sunday, Tony Dorsett and Drew Pearson are going to be there, but it's a Saturday and Sunday thing. It's a 2 days card show. Jeff Slaughter going to be there, Jose Bouquett, Victor, Big T, and hopefully a lot more. So if you are in Texas, do check out the Alamo card show. It means a ton to us. Pub Sports TV, that UFC contest is live. Now, this is the first week. I believe it's the first week. I'm not sure if they did last week, but only members of our channel can be in the contest now. So only members can be in the contest. $100 up for grabs here. We also, of course, have our low bag Summit of Champions that I can't wait. I'll probably put some more stuff out on that today here as well. I'm just pumped up for us all to hang out together. Very, 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 very pumped up for us all to hang out together over at Woodbine. Let's do a review of all action here on the show. We have Bobano in the first half over 19.5 in Colts Ravens. I know I'm going to bet live unders, and we talked about the situations to bet them in those first two games. I am going to work on this a little more. I moved on the Bengals first quarter minus a half at minus 120. I mean, we got Burrow out there. It seemed like the right move. I'm now extremely curious to see if that line has moved at all. It didn't make sense, and getting too focused on the lines that don't make sense isn't always a winning situation. Now it's minus 125, so just a 5-cent move. I would like to see that at minus 2.5, even though that, we're not talking about key numbers, but I really would like to see that. I'm on the first quarter minus half, minus 120, but I've got more work to do. This is right as soon as the show ends is when a lot of the work happens for me, so I'm going to be hammering that. Bobano on the over 37 in Raiders Seahawks, and I plan to move more on those. I'm going to bet the Lions here right now. I'm going to bet the BC Lions. I'm going to bet them first half and full game. We have a Gorky as an official bet on the Tiger Cats. We are tracking Gorky's action here, and then we have AM on the under 55.5. Bobano's on the Lions plus 3.5 minus 115. That was available at Tony Bet. And then we're going to do more deep dives on the rest of the CFL action. In baseball, the pig milk play of the day is White Sox first 5 money line plus 220. And then we have for Justin McKelvey, Rooker RBI at plus 112. That's stacks play of the day number 1. Number 2 is that over 159.5 in that Dream Sky game. We just went over all of that action here. We have more action from our cappers in the chat. We have Spooner cashing on the Oakland A's, TJ cashing on the Oakland A's, a lot of cashers on the Oakland A's. Nicholas Handy got the A's and the under 9 SGP. We have JT, Talk Sports with JT on Chicago, Seattle over 7.5 at even money. The Reds plus 143, Miami, Atlanta over 8 minus 115. And we have Spooner on the Reds plus 1 at plus 106. TJ's on the Reds money line at plus 150. A lot of people back in the Reds. I think that Skeens shoves. Again, Skeens can shove and the Pirates can lose. We've seen that often. So I've got to figure out exactly how to bet it. Then we have Jose. Jose's moved on the Marlins first 5 minus 155. Jose's also on the Cincinnati Reds. And I've got to figure out exactly how to bet this baseball card, which I'll do now. And then we just went over our WNBA. That is our show for today. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. It truly means everything. We wouldn't be here without it. And tomorrow is an enormous card for us to attack. I can't wait for Friday cards. Friday cards have been crushing. So let's go out and get that cash. Thank you to all supporting us. Thank you to our producer, Jose Bouquett. Thank you to the guests that joined us live, Mr. Ian Cameron, Morgan Spooner, Jose Bouquett, Justin McKelvey, and Billy Brisbane. JT, go get that cash, my man. Thank you all. AM, Dougie Wise, Just a Teen Rock, Jermaine, thank you so much. Truly, thank you. Gerald Jones, Gorky, Londo, nice to see you. Been a while. Kong's Clips in the house. Thank you. A Coin, thank you. Sir Mackey, AM, all you guys putting so much work into this, into our chat. The chat's what makes us special. Res Mob, Dougie Wise joining us on the Bengals minus a half, first quarter minus half, minus 130. AM on that Fever Mercury under 173.5. DC Capper on the Indiana Fever plus 3.5. DC Capper coming off yet another monster day. Mally Mal, thank you. Thank you guys all so much for your support. Now it's time for us to go out there, get that cash. That's what we're going to do here. Rock on my BC Lions, Casey Printers jersey. I'm going to go move on the BC Lions right now. On behalf of all of us, Pub Sports Radio, thank you. Now it is time for us to go out there and get that fucking money. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers. Roll that shit like that shit. Smoke it.
From down south, where we ride on clouds. From down south, where we ride on clouds. From down south, where we ride on clouds. Yo. Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H. I stack green like Boston, shout out to Nasty Nate. From down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Gabby Cat. Fly out to Denver for the Nugget fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Crockett. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Conor Mack. Call up Dutch boy, cause you know we stay fresh. What's the strain of the day, homie? Watch the daily sesh. Roll up a paper plane, light up a sparkly. If I need a strikeout prop, we gon' holler at Sharpie. Cross over to the West Coast and holler at Bam. If we talking NBA, I got to hit Trot Wham. Always tapping in, money's what we trust. If I need a team total, gotta hit Nut Plus, cause I'm fishing for bait. Smoking straight to the chest. Gotta fly out to the Beta, homie, Moose Money Bets. From Brooks to West, cash checks what we do. Cause I'm who banging with balls and the OG rag. If we need it under, I gotta hit nose. If I ladder my prop, I gotta holler Big Show. Now we back to the East Coast for Nicky Fish tanks. We watching UFC, keeping money in the bank. Die Hard and Danny Betts and the whole damn crew. Nick's the only guy I know can drink a brew or buy his shoe, but hey, that's what he do. It is what it is. I can't forget that Jersey boy, that homie Billy Brisbane. If I need an ice pick, I go to Ontario, holler my ice guy, Ian Bobano. And if I need some advice in trying to cash, tune into Peter Loshak and Jimmy the Bad. And hit that like button, make sure that you smash it. The famous words of Razor Sharp picks, cash it. I'm on my poker shit, stacking my chips. If we ever lose a bet, man, we never gon' trip. Cause I'm Mike Knight M, Pimp Slap Player of the Day. Ron Crawford spreadsheet, what more can you say? It's how we stay paid each and every day. Can't forget about the producer, say hey Jose. Tell your mother, your father, your son, and your daughter, cause nothing's going down without the Don Jeff Slaughter. All you low baggers, hold it down in the chat. If you missed all that, the remix will be back. Yeah.